Chapter 3161. Pure Text Online Read Local Domain Name Mobile Phone Synchronous Read Please visit. If he could infiltrate it, he would definitely learn a lot of things from it. This was what Chen Shang planned to do. What kind of pill do you know how to refine? The shopkeeper sized Chen Shang up, and a look of contempt appeared in his eyes. He did not think that Chen Shang knew how to refine pills, and that Chen Shang was a human himself. Although their heaven-old divine race was powerful, they did not have a lot of people. Currently, the shop was indeed lacking manpower. If he could have a human alchemist to join, he would be more willing. I only know how to refine strong strength Dan. Chen Shang said. He had never refined this pill before, moreover, he had only eaten one before. However, he was confident in himself, and felt that as long as there were ingredients, he would definitely be able to successfully refine one. Alright, follow me in. The shopkeeper felt that it was already good that they only knew how to refine strong strength Dan, because they needed this kind of alchemist, so he didn't expect the human alchemist to refine other pills. Chen Shang followed him into a secret room. This is the medicinal herb, I'll be coming in 2 hours later. I am very clear on whether or not it is the pill that has just been concocted. If you dare to lie to me, you will be like that fellow just now. The manager harumphed, then walked out of the secret room. Chen Shang opened a box and found strong strength Dan's medicinal herbs. 1 fruit, then 500 wild source stone, is it that simple? Chen Shang handed the fruit to the Mei Jing sisters and started the triple time field on him. Mei Jing sisters cut off half of the fruit, then used the power of regeneration to regenerate the other half and gave it to Chen Shang. By the time they finished, an hour had already passed. This way, Chen Shang would have successfully obtained a fruit like this, and would not need to purchase it. Buying these herbs here was an extremely difficult task, because all of them were controlled by the heaven-old divine race and no one dared to sell them privately. It won't be difficult to start now. Chen Shang placed the green fruit into the Tianchuang furnace, and then placed the wild source stone in. To him, refining wild source stone was the easiest because he had refined it many times before. As for the green fruit, that would be a little difficult. When he used the world-defying god fire to burn it, he felt a strange energy gushing out, blowing away his world-defying god fire. However, this did not trouble him. He had many miraculous methods of refining pills, which easily overcome the obstacle, turning the green fruit into a ball of green mist, and then merging the mist with the refined wild source stone. After fusing, it would crystallize. He only needed to turn it into a pill. When he successfully formed the pill, 2 hours had just passed and he was already sweating profusely. Even though it was the lowest price, he had spent an hour to refine it. Moreover, he had never refined it before, so it was not a small challenge to him. Fortunately, he had already succeeded. He felt that he could refine at least 3 pills, but he did not want the heaven-old divine race to realize that even if there would not be any problems, he also did not want to earn the wild source stone for the heaven-old divine race. The manager had already opened the door and entered. The moment he entered, he smelled a rich fragrance and a trace of surprise flashed in his eyes. Looks like you've succeeded in refining it. The shopkeeper was a little happy in his heart, because he could tell from the fragrance that the pill inside Chen Zhang's pill furnace was of extremely high quality. Chen Shang nodded his head and pretended to exhale, making people feel that he was very tired, as if he was doing his best. The shopkeeper opened the lid of the pill furnace and saw the green pill inside. He nodded in satisfaction. Okay, you can stay. What's your name? Shen Fei. Chen Shang used a fake name, although he did not have much fame here, using a fake name was his habit. Your mission in the future will be to refine 200 strong strength Dan for the shop every month. After refining one, we will give you a reward of 200 wild source stone. The shopkeeper asked, do you have any objections? Chen Shang shook his head. He had not come here for the wild source stone. If he wanted it, he could just refine it himself. The reward of 1 pellet for 1 wild source stone was only 200, which was pitifully little. If a strong strength Dan of his level were to be sold for at least 40,000 pellets, it showed how profitable this shop was. Good. Don't waste your medicinal ingredients. If you waste too much of your medicinal ingredients, your end will be very miserable. The shopkeeper said, when you want to refine pills, come to the 3rd floor to look for me or the 2nd storekeeper for medicinal herbs. Once you've obtained them, you must start refining them. Understood. Chen Shang nodded his head. Am I going to stay here too? Yes, you cannot leave the shop once you have collected the medicinal ingredients. You must finish refining those medicinal ingredients before you can leave. The shopkeeper said, I suggest that you take a few dozen at a time. Once you've finished refining, you can go out and rest, and then continue refining. Once you've completed the month's task ahead of time, you will have other time. All right, Chen Shang nodded. I want to take 100 portions now. Being able to refine 10 batches a day was only 10 days of time. The manager felt that it was rather reasonable. After Chen Shang received the medicinal ingredients, the shopkeeper said, wait a moment, I will get someone to bring you to your residence. I hope that the strong strength Dan you refine all have such quality. The shopkeeper handed over to Chen Shang the 200 wild source stone and said, this is the reward for refining this strong strength Dan. Chen Shang did not have any interest in these 200 wild source stone, but he accepted them with a smile. He was led by a young man to a house in the backyard. He had a small independent house with a secret room that could allow him to refine pills in peace. Begin pill forging. Chen Shang wanted to quickly enter the world-defying crazy realm. This time, he was extremely serious about refining the strong strength Dan, and he never thought that he would actually be able to refine the strong strength Dan in an hour. Is it because my world-defying God fire has been strengthened in all aspects? Chen Shang felt that he was pretty fast. If I were to carefully refine them, I wonder how many would be produced in a single furnace. The pill he had refined in the shop was for the sake of concealing his identity. Right now, he didn't have such considerations. If he gave out more medicinal herbs, he could save them all for himself. Very quickly, 2 hours had passed. He earnestly went to refine the strong strength Dan, and the time required to do so was twice as much as before. However, he actually produced 4 pellets. This way, I only need 25 sets of ingredients to refine 100 strong strength Dan. The remaining 75 sets will be mine. This was more than what he had expected. He thought that he could only produce 3 pills at most. Chapter 3162. Pure Text Online Read Local Domain Name Mobile Phone Synchronous Read Please visit. Chen Shang had only refined 100 strong strength Dan S in the past 3 days. The next few pills he refined were all for himself to consume, and the process of refining them was very different from the previous ones. Strong strength Dan is considered the lowest level of the arrogant core. However, if I were to use the derivation method and the crash method to refine them, I would definitely be able to refine extremely high-quality ones. Chen Shang had previously eaten strong strength Dan, so he now had a certain understanding of its medicinal properties. After all, Chen Shang had reached a certain level of cultivation in the world-defying stage fierce power and his strength could be considered strong. His world-defying God fire had already reached the pinnacle, so it gave him quite a bit of convenience during the process of refining pills. It has been successfully derived. Chen Shang reached this step very quickly. The next thing he wanted to do was ram the 9 medicine crystal that he had created. After he made sufficient preparations, he immediately began to clash with them. Bang bang, the furnace shook twice consecutively, then produced 2 muffled sounds. Chen Shang was also sweating profusely at this moment. This is a mad arrogant pill, after it is formed, it will then collide with others. The explosive power is very strong, it's all world-defying stage fierce power, I almost can't control it. Chen Shang took a deep breath. Luckily he was able to react in time, and threw the 6 realms mirrors into the Tianchuang furnace, if not the world-defying stage fierce power inside would explode continuously. At that time, all of his Tianchuang furnace would be destroyed. What's the situation like? Feng Ka asked. Not bad, I'll have to let you help me the next time I refine. It's too dangerous, Chen Shang said. Previously, when he was refining, he did not feel that there was anything difficult about the strong strength Dan. He was able to refine 4 pills in 2 hours, but he did not expect that after he had made a breakthrough, it would actually become like this, almost destroying his pill furnace. In the next round of condensing the pill, Chen Shang ordered Feng Ka to take action. Feng Ka's power of sealing was still very effective against this kind of arrogant core. Not long after, Feng Ka successfully condensed the rich medicinal power into a pill. A super high-quality strong strength Dan, let me try. After Chen Shang took out this pellet from the Tianchuang furnace, he immediately consumed it and began to refine it. He only needed 6 hours to refine the pellet, and he could easily refine it by himself. This pellet could be refined by himself, and this was the best place, because the pellet itself could be refined, allowing it to merge with the human body more quickly. Therefore, it only took Chen Shang 4 hours to refine that pellet. The effect is very good. It's equivalent to 100 ordinary strong strength Dan. Chen Shang opened his eyes and felt the newly strengthened world-defying stage fierce power. Looks like I'll be able to cultivate world-defying stage fierce power very quickly, said. The world-defying stage fierce power was still very useful to her. If she also had a very strong world-defying stage fierce power, then when she released the seal and formation, it would make the array and seal even more powerful. Yes, I'll start refining a bit more. Chen Shang still had a lot of medicinal herbs in his possession. If he was to continue staying here, he did not need to grow them himself. He needed to make the shopkeeper more interested in him. When the time came, he would have the opportunity to refine an even more precious primordial pill. In the next few days, Chen Shang spent all his time refining the super high-quality pride pill. He could refine 4 pills a day, and after he refined 30 pills, he felt that it was about time. After walking out of the pill refining room, he saw a person in the small hall of his own small house. He was dressed extremely extravagantly, and there was even a mask on his face. "You're finally out," the cold and proud voice of the man from heaven old divine race came over. It was a man. "Well, what is it?" Chen Shang asked suspiciously. "It's nothing, let's go find the manager. He'll explain everything to you clearly." The man got up and walked out of the store. Chen Shang followed and saw the shopkeeper. "I've finished refining it." Chen Shang handed the 100 strong strength Dan pills over to the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper opened it and took a look. His eyes were filled with pleasant surprise, but there was also some helplessness. He did not know the reason behind this. Chen Shang had a premonition that he was about to be chased away. The shopkeeper said, "Shen Fei, the pills you refined are not bad. This is your reward, 1 pill for 200 wild source stone, here is 20,000. Quote. After Chen Shang received it, he asked, "Are you going to let me leave?" With that, he looked at the heaven old divine race man beside him. "Yes, I'll take your place," the heaven old divine race man said coldly. "That's not it, you can stay and continue refining the strong strength Dan. I can make an exception for you and let you stay." Although the shopkeeper did not concoct pills very aggressively, after running this shop for many years, he was clear that the quality of the strong strength Dan that Chen Shang refined was very good. Other than that, he could also see Chen Zhang's potential. He did not wish for Chen Shang to leave just like that, because if Chen Shang left this shop, there would be people taking him in no matter where he went. "Manager, what do you mean?" the man asked in annoyance. "You should understand what I said. I want him to stay," the shopkeeper said, his expression turning ugly. Chen Shang was a little confused. "Didn't you say that the alchemists in the shop were enough? If I join your shop, I'll let a human leave, but why hasn't he left yet?" The man was a little angry. Of course he could tell that the shopkeeper valued Chen Shang a lot, which made him feel an indescribable jealousy in his heart. Chen Shang also understood that the man in front of him was alchemist, but since the shop was full of alchemists, if he wanted to enter, he could only kick one out. Normally, he would kick the humans out and let the heaven old divine race people in. After all, the shop was owned by the heaven old divine race, and the shopkeeper was from the heaven old divine race. However, Chen Shang had performed very well. Even if he was a human, he could still be valued highly by the shopkeeper. "Yes, but the pills he concocts are quite good. I think we should keep him here," the innkeeper said. "Your current house is for you to live in. I will arrange for someone to build another one for him. He's just a human." The man was somewhat angry. "Why didn't you make an exception for me before and instead built a house for a human?" This man was from the heaven old divine race, but he felt that the shopkeeper wasn't paying attention to him at all. Instead, he was looking at a very weak-looking human, which made his heart very unbalanced. So what? The shopkeeper was getting impatient. After all, they were all from heaven old divine race and all of them had temper. "If you feel bad, you can leave," the shopkeeper added. The value of his creation is higher than yours, so he was able to receive this kind of treatment. Chapter 3163. Chen Shang really did not think that this shopkeeper would actually think so highly of him, which made him shocked on the inside. He could at most earn a few more wild source stone for this shop. These wild source stones should not be worth it for this shopkeeper to clash with his clansmen. Alright, just you wait. Just leave." As expected, the heaven old divine race man had left. "Manager, I've troubled you." Chen Shang felt a little embarrassed and said. "Nothing, you should go rest first." The shopkeeper waved towards Chen Shang, and then took the pellets and left. Chen Xiang wanted Feng Ke to eat 10 strong strength dans. He wanted to see what kind of effects Feng Ke, who had just started cultivating the world-defying stage fierce power, would have after eating these strong strength dan. Feng Ke's refining speed was much faster than Chen Zhang's. Being able to refine one pellet in an hour, Chen Xiang was very surprised with her speed. How is it big? Feng Ke used his hand to measure the size of a world-defying mad source bead. It was the size of a walnut, and it was not small either. So fast. Chen Xiang laughed. Can you use the world-defying stage fierce power to release the seal now? Of course you can. The seal released is also powerful. Feng Ke laughed. If my world-defying mad source bead was stronger, then I would be even more powerful. I hope that I could have long since stepped into the world-defying crazy realm. With Feng Ke around, it would be relatively easy for Chen Xiang to refine pills. Especially when refining those types of pills that were difficult to refine, Feng Ke was always able to help a lot, otherwise it would be difficult for him to succeed. Chen Xiang went to look for the shopkeeper. He wanted to collect 100 sets of medicinal ingredients, and he would complete his mission of refining another 100 pellets this month. When he arrived at the main hall of the shop, he saw that the shopkeeper was with a few masked men wearing luxurious robes. It's that guy from last time. Chen Xiang felt a very familiar chi. It was the Heaven Old Divine Race person from last time. The Heaven Old Divine Race originally wanted to come to this shop to work, but because he saw that Chen Xiang was neglected, he left in anger. Now that he had even brought a few people here, he did not know what his purpose was. After Chen Xiang arrived, the man pointed at Chen Xiang and said, "It's this human." When the few masked men looked over, Chen Xiang felt a lot of pressure. This extremely tall masked man was very strong, and they had intentionally released a type of aura to scare Chen Xiang. It was a good thing that Chen Xiang was a person who had seen great storms before, and stood there calmly. He is Shen Fei, he just joined our shop not long ago. The shopkeeper said, the strong strength dan he refined is indeed not bad, so I made an exception and asked him to stay. There's nothing wrong with that, it's just that your family's kid is too suspicious. HMPH, how good can a pill concocted by a human be? The man said angrily, I want to compete with him. If he can't beat me, then tell him to leave immediately. Then apologize to me. Chen Zhang's eyes were filled with helplessness. He never thought that such a thing would actually happen. This man looked just like a child. Then let's fight. What if you lose? The shopkeeper sneered. He didn't seem to be afraid of these masked men. If I lose, then I'll be convinced. The man had already taken off his mask. He was a handsome youth, but his face was filled with arrogance and he looked extremely arrogant. Then you can leave, the shopkeeper said. I think I did the right thing. The one wrong is you, the arrogant guy. Let me tell you the truth, the strong strength dan you refined is very bad, I don't like it at all. When the man heard the shopkeeper's words, he became extremely angry. Elders, you all have heard that he is humiliating me. The young man said angrily. If he loses, then I will kneel down and apologize to you. A masked man said. When they saw their clan's younger generation being looked down upon in such a manner, their hearts were filled with rage. Chen Xiang was a little helpless. That young man couldn't even bear to see the manager of the Heaven Old Divine Race anymore. All right, the shopkeeper was very confident in Chen Xiang. How do you want to compete? Shen Fei only knows how to refine strong strength dan, so he can only try to refine strong strength dan. If he wants to refine other pills, I will not agree. Quote. The quality of the strong strength dan that Chen Xiang had refined was very good. This shopkeeper still had over 100 pellets that he had not sold yet, because he had to find a good buyer to sell all at once. Let's compete in refining the strong strength dan. If he is the first one to refine it, then we will consider it his victory, regardless of the quality. That young man said. From his confident expression, it could be seen that he was very confident in his alchemy speed. The shopkeeper looked at Chen Xiang, only to see Chen Xiang nodding his head, competing with him in pill refining speed, that would be courting death. His heart was blooming with laughter. Are you really okay? This fellow concocts pills at an astonishing speed, even though its quality is a little lacking. The shopkeeper suddenly told Chen Xiang. How much does he have? Chen Xiang asked. To be able to refine 3 batches of strong strength dan in 2 hours is something that I know of. If it was a competition, his speed would probably be even faster. The manager sent a voice transmission. Just as they were communicating through voice transmission, the young man suddenly said, how about this, let's compete with each other. Within 2 hours, whoever refines more strong strength Dan will win. They suddenly changed the rules again, which made the shopkeeper a bit angry. He knew the other party's pill refining speed. This kind of rule was very beneficial for them. And now, the shopkeeper sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. Don't worry, it won't be a problem. Chen Shang replied calmly. He suddenly felt that this shopkeeper was not bad, although he was from the heaven old divine race, he had a lot of respect for him, which was why he asked for his opinion. The shopkeeper trusted Chen Shang a lot and said, then let's begin. In order to let more people testify, the shopkeeper called over 10 alchemists over to watch the competition. These alchemists were all old alchemists in the shop, and they knew about Chen Zhang's situation, because they had all seen the strong strength Dan that Chen Shang had refined and received their unanimous approval. Now that they understood the reason for the Do Dan, they all felt that this young man was extremely arrogant. However, there was nothing they could do about it. After all, this young man came from a big clan. When the disciples of the big families came out to gain experience, the ones who were unlucky were these shops. They are people from the Zhen clan. The kid who fought with you over refining pills is called Zhen Mingui. Their family's refining pills are not bad, and the people they sent out to gain experience are all people who want to enter some shops to concoct pills. The innkeeper said, Bull **T. He's just here to show off. This sort of thing happens a lot. You have to discourage him this time. Chen Shang also laughed in his heart. Since he allowed the members of his clan to go out and gain experience, they should have suffered some setback or other in order to grow, but now the old one actually jumped out to help the young one. This little one clearly had no reason to. Chapter 3164. In the hall, other than the alchemist in the shop, there were a few other people there. These people were all here to buy pills, and now that they knew about this, they began to watch with interest. Strong strength DANs were a type of pill that many people ate frequently, and they were the cheapest here, and their effects were not bad as well. As long as one ate long-term, they would be able to feel the obvious increase in world-defying mad source speed strength. Therefore, this pill was still rather popular. Since there were people competing here, of course, many of them were very curious about it. Although they ate quite a lot, they had rarely seen alchemists refining anything. In 2 hours' time, the hourglass ended. There are many alchemists present and they are all able to testify here. It can be seen whether they are cheating or not. The shopkeeper said, so you all must be more honest with me. Everyone could tell if it was the strong strength Dan that was just refined, let alone the old alchemist. Is it possible that whoever concocts the pill will be the victor at the end of the process? Chen Shang asked again. He wanted to confirm it one more time. That's right, Zhen Mingui replied, you're definitely going to lose. Chen Shang did not bother with him anymore, looked at the shopkeeper and said, Shopkeeper, do you still have a pill furnace here? Can you give me a few more? Quote. Zhen Mingui laughed, are you worried that the furnace will explode? If the furnace explodes, then you can forget about winning against me. The most important thing in this competition is time. If you explode a furnace, then you won't have a chance to win. Of course not. Chen Shang smiled at him. The feeling he gave was one of modesty, and he himself was very good at refining pills. Even the heaven-old divine race who looked down on humans did not dare look down on him, as they had a very good impression of him. The shopkeeper took out 5 pill furnaces and gave it to Chen Shang, saying, is that enough? The shopkeeper did not know what Chen Shang was doing, but he saw that Chen Shang was very calm and collected. With just a glance, he had that kind of experienced look, and although Zhen Mingui looked full of confidence, he had a kind of excitement. This was Zhen Mingui's first time competing, but he was confident that he could win. At this moment, when he thought about how he would be excited when he won, it could be seen that his current state of mind was not the least bit good. Many of the old fellows here could tell that Chen Shang was much better than them with a single glance, especially when faced with such a challenge. You can begin, Chen Shang said after he finished setting up the pill furnace. The shopkeeper gave him 5 pill furnaces, which, in addition to his own, was 6. Alright, let's begin. After the shopkeeper announced the start of the auction, Zhen Mingui immediately threw the herbs into the furnace. He looked to be in a hurry, and was extremely excited. Chen Shang, on the other hand, very slowly went to inspect the medicinal ingredients. After he was done, he waved his hand and opened the lids of the 6 pill furnaces, letting them float in the air. Then, he placed the 6 sets of the medicinal ingredients into 6 separate pill furnaces. When everyone saw this, they thought that Chen Shang did it to save time. After refining one furnace, he would immediately refine another. HMPH, I can tell you don't have much strength with a single glance. You can only play this kind of small trick. This will indeed save a lot of time, but you still won't be able to win against me. Zhen Minghui said sarcastically. That's all he can do. Right now, he can only rely on his little intelligence. It can be seen that he doesn't have any real talent. A masked man from the Zhen family also sneered. Everyone felt that Chen Shang was very good at this, so what if he was smart? To save time for winning, this was a very normal thing to do. However, Chen Zhang's following actions caused everyone to be extremely shocked. 3 different types of flames appeared on Chen Zhang's palms, which overflowed from his palms and entered the 6 pill furnaces, fire entrance. He can actually control 6 pill furnaces at the same time. He wants to refine 6 batches of pills in one go. If he succeeds, he will be able to refine 6 pills in 2 hours. An old alchemist exclaimed. If that's the case, it might be able to make up for it, but... However, to control 6 pill furnaces within 1 hour is obviously a little strenuous. If I were to control 5 pill furnaces, it would take me at least 2 hours to complete the task. Quote. That's right, isn't he being a bit too arrogant? Everyone listened to the old alchemist's soft discussion. They came to the conclusion that it was possible to refine 6 batches of pills at the same time, but completing it within 2 hours was too difficult. Chen Shang was truly powerful not only in this, he could simultaneously control 6 batches of pills and make even more of them appear. However, he did not want to reveal the number of pills he had obtained, as he would not be able to take advantage of this. Therefore, he came up with this method. If he were to use 6 pill furnaces to refine 1 pill, he would only be able to refine 1 pill per furnace. He's desperate. Seeing Chen Shang controlling 6 pill furnaces, Zhen Minghui laughed. It's only at that level, I thought it was very powerful. It seems that Mingwei is definitely going to win, there is no doubt about the strength of our Zhen clan's genius alchemist. That's right, the shopkeeper actually looked down on our Zhen clan's youngest genius alchemist. This time, we'll make them convinced of our defeat. Everyone was secretly looking down on him. Before the results were out, those Zhen clan people already thought that they had won. They boasted so arrogantly that it made people feel uncomfortable. Therefore, no matter what the other party said, his heart would not waver. Furthermore, he had also seen Chen Zhang's calm expression, which showed that even though he had been mocked and ridiculed many times by the other party, it did not affect him in the slightest. He did not speak a word or counterattack. An hour had passed, and at this time, Zhen Minghui had already successfully refined 3 batches of sand. At his current speed, he could refine 6 or even 7 batches in 2 hours. Mingwei, it shouldn't be difficult to refine 7 batches in 2 hours, right? It's not difficult. Zhen Minghui laughed proudly, it's a piece of cake. Chen Shang had seen the pills he had refined before, they were of extremely poor quality, and not even a single pill was round. These pills could not be eaten, and would only be sold at a very low price, causing all the alchemists to look at them with contempt. An hour had passed and Chen Shang suddenly opened his eyes. The 6 flames on his palm had also disappeared. Haha, you must have failed. Zhen Minghui laughed. No, I have already forged a cauldron. After Chen Shang finished speaking, under everyone's bewildered gaze, he took out 6 strong strength Dan from the 6 pill furnaces. When the 6 strong strength Dans were placed in a jade box by him, everyone was so shocked that they couldn't speak, especially the shopkeeper. Because the quality of Chen Zhang's 6 pellets was very good, although he was refining 6 pellets at the same time, the quality did not decrease. Chapter 3165. Zhen Minghui, who was just laughing at him, couldn't laugh anymore. The 6 strong strength Dans that Chen Shang had just refined were right in front of him, so how could he not see the quality of these 6 pellets? The strong strength Dan that Chen Shang had refined was much better than those that were sold on the market. Even those who were not familiar with the medicine would be able to tell that. Zhen Minghui suddenly felt a lot of pressure. There was still an hour left, and if Chen Shang could concoct another 6, it would be 12 of these pills, which he would not be able to compare to. In order to pursue a faster speed, Zhen Minghui had sacrificed his quality, and the strong strength Dan he refined had no quality at all. Compared to the ones refined by Chen Shang, he was the most clear of himself. At this time, he had already clearly understood the difference between Chen Shang and himself, but he was unwilling to admit defeat. Right now, they were only competing in the amount of pills produced, not in their quality. Within the set time, the most they would be able to concoct would be a winner. Jen Mingui and the others were secretly glad that the rules they had set were suitable for them, if not they might lose. The pill this kid refined is really good. Even from a distance, we can see that. The things that Jen Mingui refined were just trash, they could not even compare to his, and even if he could win, the disparity would be obvious. Quote. Yes. Unfortunately, his pills are of such high quality, and one pill is enough to take 10 of Jen Mingui's pills, but Jen Mingui still won against him. Quote. This kind of strong strength Dan, even selling it for 40,000 wild source stone wouldn't be a problem. The surrounding people were all discussing in low voices. They all felt that this was very unfair to Chen Shang, because the pills Chen Shang had refined were very good, but he was about to lose to Jen Mingui. Indeed, Chen Shang had just used an hour and a little bit of time to refine those 6 batches of pills. Everyone felt that they could not win anymore, because if Chen Shang wanted to refine more, he would need at least an hour, but there wasn't enough time right now. Just when everyone felt that it was a pity, they saw Chen Shang throwing 3 medicinal ingredients into the pill furnaces. When everyone saw this, they were enlightened. Chen Shang was refining 6 batches at the same time, so it would take slightly more than an hour. But he was only refining 3 batches at the same time, so there should not be a problem for an hour. No one had thought about this just now, and could not help but admire Chen Zhang's calculations. This way, they would have a guaranteed victory. Jen Mingui secretly clenched his teeth. The pressure was even greater now, because he might very well lose this competition. If he lost, he would have to kneel down and admit his wrongs. It would be a very shameful thing, and they were previously so full of confidence. If he lost in the end, wouldn't that make them look bad? Just when Jen Mingui was feeling nervous, an old man patted his shoulder, as though he was secretly sending a sound transmission to Jen Mingui. When Chen Shang saw it, he cursed in his heart. These guys are probably going to cheat us. Chen Shang understood this kind of person very well. Before, Jen Mingui was extremely anxious, but now, he had calmed himself down. Everyone was secretly suspecting that the Jen clan might have done something bad, as everyone could see what they were thinking at this point of time. However, if the Jen family was up to no good, then everyone present would definitely be able to find out that they had done something. Manager. Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to the shopkeeper. What if they are cheating? Don't worry. Right now, no one can hide from our eyes. If they are truly able to do so without us discovering them, then that is their ability. The manager said. This allowed Chen Shang to heave a sigh of relief. There were quite a few old alchemists in the shop, and all of them had their eyes wide open watching the shop. However, Chen Shang was still a little worried, so he had to be cautious, otherwise, he would lose to the Jen clan in the end. What will they do? Chen Shang was thinking about this matter, and then, he began to think about how he should leave a trump card in his hands, in order to guarantee that he would be able to successfully defeat Jen Mingui in the end. Even if Jen Mingui were to use tricks, he would still win. After thinking about it, Chen Shang decided to do it this way. If you win, what benefits will you gain? Feng Ka asked. If it was only Jen Mingui kneeling, then this wouldn't bring much benefit to Chen Shang, but in order for Chen Shang to obtain victory, he had to expose his true strength. If I win, then this manager will think highly of me. At that time, even if I'm a human, I'll still have a good relationship with him. Chen Shang said, you should be clear that the pill administration here is very strict, but if I build a good relationship with the shopkeeper, it will make it much easier for me, and this will allow me to obtain even more high-level arrogant medicine. Strong strength Dan were only the initial stage of the primordial desolate pill. There were even middle stage higher ranked pills. The quality of those pills were even better. That's true. Feng Ka nodded. At this time, Chen Shang planned to display his true strength within the 3 stoves he had concocted. A total of 4 pills out of 1, which would make 12 pills. However, if Yi Xiao secretly cheated, it wouldn't increase the amount of money he could get. Soon, an hour had passed. Jen Mingui had already finished his work, and this was his last batch. Previously, he had refined a total of 6 pills, but if this batch was added, he would only have 7. Alright, it really wasn't easy. In order to win, I had no choice but to use my true strength. Jen Mingui laughed, then opened the pill furnace and took out 6 strong strength Dan-s. To be able to produce 6 pills in one furnace, everyone was stunned. This is impossible. How can someone refine 6 strong strength Dan-s in one go? Quote. That's right. Although the quality is very low, it's impossible. After everyone saw this, they shouted in shock, accusing Zhen Mingui of cheating. Why is it impossible? If there are 7 or 8 alchemists in our Zhen clan, then what is 6? It is not strange that Mingwei was able to obtain the true inheritances of the ancestors. An elder of the Zhen family said. Right now, they couldn't say anything more, because whether or not it was true or false would only be known by the alchemists at the side of the store. The shopkeeper and the store's alchemist all walked over to take a look. After carefully inspecting the strong strength Dan, they all frowned, because these strong strength Dan seemed to have just been made. Shopkeeper, you should know that the alchemist in our Zhen clan is able to do this. An elder of the Zhen family asked. Of course I know. Furthermore, the quality is not bad. 8 pills will be produced in 1 pot. The manager nodded. Then you guys tell me, are there any problems with the strong strength Dan that Mingwei refined? The Zhen family elders looked at the alchemists. They shook their heads. Although they were shaking their heads, they were very dissatisfied in their hearts. Chapter 3166. Right now, Zhen Mingui only had 6 pills, adding the 6 that he had refined previously, it was already 12 pills. And right now, Chen Shang was only refining 3 batches of pellets, adding the fact that the last 6 he had refined were also only 9. Even if the quality was good, the numbers were still lacking. In the end, they were still going to lose. The rules had already been agreed upon before, so it was hard to blame them. The shopkeeper shook his head and sighed. They did not expect the Zhen family to have this kind of trick, and now they were unable to find any evidence that the Zhen family cheated. If they doubted it, the Zhen family could find other alchemists to praise it, and the final result would be the same. It's almost 2 hours, you are bound to lose. On the surface, he was ridiculing Chen Shang, but in his heart, he was extremely jealous, because the quality of the strong strength Dan Chen Shang refined was very good. Also, he had one disgraced, because the quality of the strong strength Dan that he produced was extremely poor. Although there were 12 of them, they were not even comparable to the 2 that Chen Shang had refined. In many people's eyes, even if Chen Shang lost, but in essence, he won against Zhen Mingui, Zhen Mingui's level was too lacking, in order to ignore quality, he had no use. Moreover, for Chen Shang to be able to balance quality and speed, it was very impressive. When the Zhen family saw the shopkeeper's unsightly expression, they were very happy in their hearts. These large families loved to use any means they could to humiliate others with. The sand in the hourglass had already been leaked out, and everyone just now realized that Chen Shang was extremely calm. Even though he knew that could refine 6 strong strength Dan in one go, it was useless to be affected by it, and he continued to refine pills quietly. It's over. You lost. Zhen Mingui laughed. Hurry up and admit your mistake. Chen Shang stood up, and laughed. The one admitting your wrongs is you, moreover, you have to kneel down and admit your wrongs. With that, he waved his hand and opened the lids of the 3 pill furnaces. A strong medicinal fragrance wafted out, shocking everyone. Although they did not know how many pills were inside, judging by the medicinal fragrance, it was definitely not little. The shopkeeper, the alchemists and the Zhen family's elders all rushed forward to take a look, their faces were filled with surprise. Each pill furnace had 3 strong strength Dan in it. There were a total of 9 pellets, and they were all of good quality. Adding the 6 pellets from before, there were 15 in total, which was more than Zhen Mingui's 12 pellets. The outcome had already been decided. Although it was too unbelievable, the result was still acceptable to many people. A pot of 3 pills. That's impossible, Zhen Mingui shouted, you must have cheated. If you can get 6 pills in a pot, it's normal for others to get 3 pills in a pot. The manager said with a smile, you've already lost. Hurry up and admit your mistake. The shopkeeper was still very surprised, he was already prepared to lose, and had even thought of saying something when he was ready to admit his wrongs. However, he didn't expect Chen Shang to actually have such a reversal, which made him very happy. He also didn't know how Chen Shang managed to do it, and he didn't plan to ask her about it right now. I had no choice. In order to win, I used my true strength. Chen Shang looked very tired at the moment. He had shown this on purpose, and his true level was 4 pills per furnace. He had refined 3 pills per furnace just so that no one would think it was exaggerated. Zhen Mingui glared at Chen Shang. He really did not think that Chen Shang would hold back such a move. His knees were already slightly bent, and in the end, he kneeled on the ground. I'm sorry. After saying that, Zhen Mingui stood up quickly and left the shop in a fit of anger. The other elders also left in a fit of rage. "I'll go rest first." After Chen Shang finished, he quickly left the hall of the shop and returned to his small house in the backyard. The shopkeeper watched Chen Shang leave, then hurried to the highest level of the shop and arrived inside a luxurious hall. "How is the competition?" an old man asked. "He won. That kid from the Zhen clan has already kneeled down. This time, the Zhen clan has lost a lot of face." The shopkeeper laughed. "This Shen Fei brat is truly powerful. Although he looks gentle and refined, his ways of doing things are very shrewd and experienced." "Tell me the process." An old man with a head full of white hair walked out. He was wearing a set of blood-red clothes, and on the clothes were patterns drawn with golden lines. This pattern was the picture of a dragon. When the shopkeeper saw the old man walk out, he immediately lowered his head, not daring to look at him directly. Then, he told the old man about Chen Zhang's refining process. Looking at the strong strength Dan that Chen Shang had refined, he said, "The quality of these pills are very good." Moreover, he had only used 2 hours to refine so many pills. It can be seen that this person's potential is extremely great. If he were to refine other pills, then the amount he would produce would be even more. Yes, he's not like that brat Zhen Mingui. The strong strength Dan that Zhen Mingui refined are all trash. The shopkeeper said, "Boss, Zhen Mingui was able to concoct 6 pills in the end. What was going on? We don't see how he cheated at all." Quote. The old man laughed coldly. The Zhen clan's people used a secret technique to directly control Zhen Mingui's pill refinement, and they can even channel a certain amount of world-defying stage fierce power into Zhen Mingui's body, which is equivalent to the upper half of his body. In that case, those old fellows must be trying to concoct the pill, because this secret technique is extremely profound, and there's no need to touch the other party's body when using it, so you all wouldn't be able to see it. HMPH, they actually dare to use such despicable methods here. I will deal with them sooner or later. The shopkeeper was extremely angry and said, "The Zhen family is becoming more and more arrogant." The red-clothed old man said, "Isn't it because a woman from the Zhen family can become a woman by the side of the ancient emperor? Now, many people no longer care about the heavenly ancient emperor. If he were to be killed one day, the Zhen clan would be the first to suffer." Quote. "Oh right, during this period of time, you will not allow Shen Fei to do anything else. Let him rest well, then ask him if he refined any other pills. At that time I will bring him to participate in the heavenly pill assembly. If he can display such abilities, he should be able to obtain a good ranking during the competition." "But boss he's a human." The shopkeeper said softly, "Isn't it possible for the people of heaven old divine race to participate in the heavenly pill assembly? My master is a human. There are a lot of humans, and some are very weak, but some are very powerful, especially in the human world. They were born very weak, but in order to become strong, to live forever, and to fight against fate, they have experienced all kinds of difficulties that we cannot even imagine." Quote. "So, I have never dared to look down on humans, and only those idiots look down on humans. If you knew that our heaven old divine race was almost annihilated by humans, you definitely wouldn't believe it." Quote. The red-clothed old man's words caused the shopkeeper to tremble. All this time, he had always thought that humans were ants, and even though there were many of them, they were unable to shake their heaven old divine race. Chapter 3167. After Chen Shang finished resting, he went to the great hall of the shop to find something to do. When the shopkeeper saw him, he immediately said, "Shen Fei, you don't have to take missions anymore, rest well." "Ah, why not? I have already rested well." Chen Shang also planned to use this mission to obtain more medicinal herbs. "This is what the boss instructed me to do." "Oh right, are you able to refine other mad arrogant pills?" the manager asked. "No way." Chen Shang shook his head. "In the primordial violent pellet, I only know how to refine strong strength Dan." "So it's like that. Take this back and take a look." The shopkeeper gave Chen Shang a booklet, which wasn't very thick. Chen Shang took it and looked through it, and on it there were some arrogant pills. "Very useful to me, thank you." Chen Shang laughed. "Who is the owner of this shop? Why didn't he show up last time?" Quote. Chen Zhang's pill refining skills were also very strong, much better than the alchemist's here. Of course, this was only in terms of refining strong strength Dan. Anyway, as long as he is here, the Zhen clan would not dare to come knocking. He carefully looked at Chen Shang, but did not realize that Chen Shang was especially powerful. Not long ago, his boss had told him that powerful humans were extremely terrifying, and they could even kill heaven old divine race as easily. But he had never seen many strong humans. Although Chen Shang was good at concocting pills, he did not seem to be strong. So mysterious. Chen Shang laughed. Then I'll go back and read this book first. Returning to the small hut, Chen Shang looked carefully at the contents of the booklet. There were a few dozen pages filled with arrogant pills. Beginners, intermediate and high-rank pills are available. There aren't many of them, but the effects of these proud ape pills are pretty good. It's more than enough. Chen Shang said. There is no description of any medicinal ingredients used to refine it. The pill formula should be in the hands of that boss. Chen Shang noted down the contents above and then went to find the shopkeeper. Finished all of them? The shopkeeper said. Keep it for yourself. It's not something important. Chen Shang had thought that he would have to return the booklet. I've seen all of them. They are all very useful arrogant core. They must be very precious. Chen Shang said. Yes, it is very precious. But the boss knew how to refine, and he also had medicinal ingredients. In this city, the boss is the most powerful alchemist. The shopkeeper suddenly said in a low voice, follow me. After that, he brought Chen Shang to the highest level of the shop and entered the luxurious little hall. After entering, Chen Shang saw a very energetic old man dressed in red sitting on the chair in front. The old man's face was filled with dignity. He gave off an invisible pressure. The pair of eyes that were deep like the sea of stars made Chen Shang unable to look any further. He was indeed an extraordinary person, although Chen Shang did not know him well. Shen Fei, the old man asked. Yes, Chen Shang nodded. I'm afraid it's a fake name. The old man was watching Chen Shang earlier. Although Chen Zhang's expression was extremely natural, he could feel that there was an extremely weak fluctuation inside Chen Zhang's body when he answered. From this weak fluctuation, Chen Shang seemed to have lied when he answered. Chen Shang is my real name. Chen Shang was a little helpless. He knew that it would be hard for him to hide in front of this kind of people. It was already not bad that no one had discovered the bigger secret on him. Manager, you can leave. The red-clothed old man waved his hand and the shopkeeper immediately left the small hall. The red-clothed old man said to Chen Shang, sit, it's a bit natural, I won't eat you. After Chen Shang sat down, he asked, boss, do you know how to refine all the pills in the booklet? Yes, do you want to learn? The serious face of the red-clothed man revealed a trace of a smile, which surprised Chen Shang. He was sure that this strong old man was from heaven old divine race, but he did not have that bad temper of his. From his point of view, most of the people from heaven old divine race were like the Zhen family. Yes, Chen Shang nodded. Did you just arrive at the heaven old super realm? The red-clothed old man asked. Yes, boss, how did you figure it out? Chen Shang did not expect to be seen through so quickly, and did not try to hide it. Your aura I can discern the unique aura of the heaven old super realm. Although you have some of the aura of the heaven old super realm S on you, it's too sparse. Usually, only people who have just arrived in the heaven old super realm would be so sparse. The red-clothed old man said, you shouldn't be from the myriad Dao S, right? You should be from the myriad Dao S. In front of this kind of old fellow, he was seen through in an instant. Chen Shang could only nod his head. What is your purpose in coming here? It's not easy to get here from that place. The red-clothed old man said with a frown. Generally speaking, only those who enter the myriad Dao can go down from above the myriad Dao, and directly come to this place from there. With your current strength, it will be difficult for you to do so. Quote. I used an array disk to come here. Chen Shang took out the array disk. The 6 realms mirrors had already copied the array disk, so even if it was taken away by the old man, he did not need to worry. It's something the heaven old imperial family made. The red-clothed old man frowned. I heard that they have a plan to go to the myriad Dao. I didn't expect that it would already be carried out. Chen Zhang's heart skipped a beat. In such a short period of time, this old man was able to see through many things, which made him admire him. No wonder the shopkeeper was so respectful to him. Can you tell me about them? You don't have to worry, I'm different from them, I treat humans the same. The red-clothed old man returned the array disk to Chen Shang. We have to start from the Tianggu Beast SA. Chen Shang also felt that the red-clothed elder in front of him was different from the others. He told him about what happened in the myriad Dao and concealed what had happened between Zheng Profound and Song Yichen. As the red-clothed old man heard this, he shook his head and smiled. They've underestimated humans. It's normal for them to suffer such a great loss. I had no choice but to do so. It was them that bullied me too much. Chen Shang said. It's fine, now that they've all died, it's equivalent to them failing. They won't be able to send another group of people out for a short period of time. The red-clothed old man said, Heaven Old Imperial family doesn't have much time to do these things right now. Boss, how much do you know about Tianghu Beast? Chen Shang asked. They are all sealed in the same place now, but they will come out sooner or later. Tianghu Beast was a very powerful race back then, even if they were turned into Tianghu Beast, their powers are still there. The red-clothed old man sighed, if we can't kill them, when they run out, it will be a disaster for the people of Heaven Old Divine Race. Chapter 3168. They had already left the city and were unable to use communication jade symbol paper S to relay messages to them. They could only do so within a certain range. Right now, he also wanted to know the situation of the Tianghu Beast. The Tianghu Beast were sealed in one area, so Song Yichen and Zheng Profound should have already gone to that area to find a way to break the seal. Chen Shang had promised them before that he would help them break the seal. Once the seal was broken, they would be able to lead the Tianghu Beast army to fight the Heaven Old Divine Race. Boss, are you afraid of Tianghu Beast? Chen Shang asked. Although the boss in front of him was from Heaven Old Divine Race, but he was not bad, and there were not many such people in Heaven Old Divine Race. Many Heaven Old Divine Race people were still quite hostile towards humans. There's nothing to be afraid of. The red-clothed old man shook his head. Boss, you should be good at concocting pills, right? Chen Shang asked again, he had heard the shopkeeper say this before. I'm having a problem right now, and I can't solve it. Quote. What problem? Chen Shang was extremely curious, he anxiously asked. The red-robed old man was powerful, the pill refining level must be high. Chen Shang had seen the small manual before, the pill inside could even be refined by the red-robed old man. The red-clothed old man hesitated for a moment and said, do you think that this sort of pill has a limited quality? Chen Shang frequently thought about this issue, because in the many pill refining competitions he had competitions, there were many rules that required quality. In order to win, every time he tried to refine a pill, he would always be able to concoct a pill of a very high quality, and would always surpass his limits. No, Chen Shang thought about it, then shook his head. He had the derivation method and the crash method, he felt that as long as he had enough control, he would be able to continuously create and clash with them. It would continue to circulate, and this way, the quality would continue to grow without limit. Of course, this was only Chen Zhang's guess, because he had never tried it before, and it was mainly because he wasn't strong enough. If there were conditions, he would try to solve the doubts in his heart and see what would happen if the quality was higher. Boss, why did you ask that? Chen Shang saw that the red-robed old man was deep in thought. The red-clothed old man sighed, and said, my name is Yu Yiren, I have been to Myriad Dao before, and at that time, I also had some private businesses up there, and the guys up there are all very powerful, especially those alchemists. Oh, Chen Shang had also heard of it. Back then, the Myriad Dao Dan God was able to go up, and it was through alchemy to break through. I've seen the highest quality pills. Yu Yiren continued, it's precisely because I've seen pills of this quality before, that's why I don't dare to stay on top. I'm worried that one day I will die. What do you mean? Chen Shang was a little doubtful, but he was also very shocked in his heart. There really was a high-quality pellet, what kind of pellet would that be? Even though I look strong now, I can't beat a single pill up there. Yu Yiren laughed at himself. Since he could not beat a single pill, this made Chen Shang even more confused. Amongst the arrogant pills, just say the initial stage, arrogant pills, do you think you can refine a strong strength Dan of the highest quality? Yu Yiren asked. No way, Chen Shang immediately answered, I can't do it with my current strength, but once I'm strong enough, I think it should be possible. As long as it's an alchemist, it's possible to refine the highest quality mad arrogant pill. Yu Yiren said, if you really can refine the highest quality strong strength Dan, then at that time, what you will see will not be a pellet but a person. The highest quality primordial pill, no matter what rank it is, can turn into a person. These words shocked Chen Shang. He knew that the pill had a spiritual nature, and he could sense it very early on. However, this was the first time he had heard of a pill that could turn into a human. This person has his own independent thoughts, but he will be very loyal to you. To put it harshly, he will be your slave, and no matter what, he will be completely loyal to you. In addition, you have extremely high intelligence and can become your right-hand man. When Yu Yiren said these words, he was filled with longing. It could be seen that he really wanted to do it. If you treat him badly, he will commit suicide. However, he will absolutely not betray you. Yu Yiren said, I met such a pill spirit back then, and it was very powerful. Its power was stronger than mine by a lot, but what shamed me the most is that in terms of pill refining, I actually lost to a pill spirit. You have to know that he was only a pellet, but he was able to defeat me. Chen Shang was completely shocked. The pill could turn into a human, and it could also turn into a pill. Is this true? Chen Zhang's face was full of shock, he did not dare believe it. It's true, I've never told this to anyone else. Yu Yiren said, ever since I came down from above, I have been bitterly searching for a way to refine a pill into a pill spirit, but I could not succeed no matter what. Only the arrogant world pill can do it. The other grades of the pill are not, because once the other grades reach a certain level of quality, it will be the arrogant world pill. Chen Shang nodded his head. If the low-leveled pills were to continuously increase in quality, then it would indeed raise one's grade. If it is to be raised to the level of the primordial desolate pill, who knows how long it would take, I might as well just start with the pride pill. Yes, under the level of the arrogant core, no matter what rank it is, it will eventually become an initial level arrogant core. Yu Yiren nodded his head, seems like you are also knowledgeable in this area. Can the initial level, arrogant core, become an intermediate level, arrogant core? Chen Shang asked. From Yu Yiren's tone earlier, it seemed that it was not possible. No, the highest quality of the initial stage of the arrogant core would be able to transform into a human, while the intermediate stage of the arrogant core would become even stronger. The arrogant core would be different from the others. Yu Yiren said. Chen Shang was considering whether he should try to use this method, but he felt that his strength was far from enough. At the very least, he should be able to train to world-defying crazy realm. Is elixir spirits really that powerful? Chen Shang still could not believe it, because he had never seen it with his own eyes. You won't believe it even more if I tell you the most powerful part. Yu Yiren said, the most amazing thing about a pill spirit is that it can quickly produce pills. If the strong strength Dan can become a human, it only needs to absorb the energy between heaven and earth and it can quickly condense pellets. It will not be a problem to refine a few hundred pellets per day, but after that, your strong strength Dan will be able to form an endless stream and will be able to eat until you puke. Quote. The corner of Chen Zhang's mouth twitched. If it's really possible, then wouldn't it be defying the heavens, will? Strong strength Dan could create many strong warriors. Chapter 3169. Chen Shang suddenly understood why Yu Yiren had returned to the heaven-old super realm. It was because there were many such abnormal things in there. As an alchemist, if I can't refine a pill spirit, I won't even be able to raise my head. Yu Yiren said, if you meet some of the more vicious alchemists, they will capture you and feed you to their core spirits. This way, their core spirits will become even stronger, and if they can successfully swallow your soul, then their core spirits will be able to obtain your memories and can refine even more pills. Yu Yiren's words moved even Chen Zhang's heart. Even though he did not have enough power to refine it, he wanted to try and see if he could continue refining the strong strength Dan. Boss, then what are the problems you have? Are you about to succeed? Chen Shang thought about it and asked. Yes, I'm about to succeed. The problem I'm facing right now is that I can't condense the pill at the last moment. Yu Yiren sighed and continued, when you refine pills, you should know that condensing a pill is very crucial. Furthermore, the higher the quality of the pill, the harder it is to condense it during the refining process, because it requires a very strong compression of energy. Chen Shang nodded, yes. This is exactly the difficulty. Yu Yiren said, it's not that my strength is insufficient, but that I have not found a solution. When I was above Myriad Dao, the alchemists that I met earlier were weaker than me, so they wouldn't be able to beat me in a fight. But they were able to refine a pill spirit. There was actually such a thing, a pill spirit could be even stronger than its master. Do you want to try the sealing method? Chen Shang said. At the very last moment, he used a very strong sealing power to seal that power, preventing it from exploding out. The only problem is that the power of the seal is very, very strong. This is a good idea. Have you used it? Did it work? Yu Yiren asked. He had not expected this before. Chen Shang used it frequently. Before he met Feng Ke, he used 6 realms mirrors as support, and it was very successful. If I succeed, I will often concoct a pill that surpasses what I am capable of. Chen Shang said, and I am using an array disc. I will place the array disk at the bottom of the pill furnace. When necessary, I will control the array disk to open up and release the seal's power. After Yu Yiren heard this, he frowned and started to ponder. This is a good idea. Yu Yiren thought as he nodded. If you are close to success, then the medicine crystal you need to condense will definitely be very terrifying. The array disk you need will also not be an ordinary array disk. Chen Shang said, according to my experience, the sealing power that can be released by controlling the array disks is also very crucial. Alright, I can give it a try. Yu Yiren said, right now, I'm finally seeing the light. Before, I didn't even know what to do, I've already failed many times. Yu Yiren was actually close to success, which made Chen Shang feel that he was very powerful. If he really succeeded, Yu Yiren might be able to share some of his experience with him, which was also very important to him. Boss, are you going to start trying now? Chen Shang asked. What pill did you refine? It's an intermediate level primordial pill. Yu Yiren laughed. He and Chen Shang had chatted for so long, the two of them had already become very familiar with each other. If it really succeeds, can I take a look when the time comes? Chen Shang said. Of course not. Yu Yiren said, I will bring you to participate in the Heavenly Pill Assembly later on, and I will get a friend of mine to help me create an array disk. This type of array disk must be good, and the ingredients must use the Myriad Dao Divine Soil. The array disks used by the Myriad Dao Divine Soil were not bad. Heavenly Pill Assembly. Chen Shang didn't really understand this. It's a alchemist great assembly. You should know the meaning of this great assembly. Yu Yiren said. Yeah, there's usually some competition or something. Chen Shang had participated in it many times. At that time, you can represent our store and not allow you to get first place. As long as you can get first place, then that's fine, because there will be a lot of geniuses participating. If you want to fight for first place, then there will be a lot of pressure. Yu Yiren patted Chen Zhang's shoulder, and then handed over 2 jade boxes to him. These are 2 commonly used types of arrogant pills, both of them are medicinal ingredients, take them back and try to see if they can be refined yourself. If you encounter any difficulties, then come and find me. One of them is beginners and the other one is intermediate. Chen Shang immediately thanked her after she received it. After Chen Shang obtained these ingredients, he returned to his hut in great excitement. He never thought that the owner of the shop would actually be such a good person. Chen Shang, if you can refine a pill spirit, wouldn't that mean that you're the same as me? Feng Ke laughed. Feng Ke was a spirit that was sealed and nurtured, so when Chen Shang refined a pill spirit, it was the same as hers. Let's wait until I refine it first. Chen Shang said. I have a suggestion that might be able to be refined by you right now. Feng Ke said. Feng Ke had always been helping Chen Shang with the concocting of pills during this long period of time. But as an extremely competent child in the field of alchemy, he had given Chen Shang a great help and lightened many of Chen Zhang's burdens. Tell me about it, Chen Shang said. You can start refining the strong strength Dan now and just keep using the derivation method. Don't use the crash method. Feng Ke said. The crash method is not easy to control, you should be clear about this. That's a good idea. Chen Shang was currently thinking, he really wanted to refine a pill spirit quickly, this could increase his strength. After you give birth to the medicine crystal, I'll help you fuse it. My sealing power is very strong. Feng Ke laughed. I have cultivated a world-defying mad source bead now, I can use the world-defying stage fierce power. Yes, I can try. Chen Shang looked at the 2 jade boxes, he needed to concoct the same pill now, but after thinking about it, he decided to try the method Feng Ke suggested. The sealing power of Feng Ke was very strong, so he was quite confident in her. If I can't do it by then, you just have to find a way to provide me with world-defying stage fierce power. When I release the sealing power, it will consume a lot of energy. Feng Ke said again. Seeing that Chen Shang was moved, she secretly looked forward to it in her heart. Chapter 3170. World-defying stage fierce power. Chen Shang thought of the world-defying mad source bead, but I wonder if the world-defying mad source bead can do it. Chen Shang had tried to absorb the energy from the world-defying mad source bead before, but to no avail. Even if he had to take the energy from the world-defying mad source bead to refine it, he would not be able to. However, Feng Ke's situation was different. She did not want to fuse this type of energy into her own body, but wanted to maintain the circulation of the seal's power. Won't you know after trying? Feng Ke said. First, Swallow the world-defying stage fierce power inside the world-defying mad source bead into your own body, then control this wave of world-defying stage fierce power and enter the 6 realms mirrors. At that time, I will guide this wave of world-defying stage fierce power to activate the formation. Alright, I'll give it a try now. Chen Xiang placed the 6 realms mirrors inside the Tianchuang furnace, and then placed a drop of world-defying mad source bead inside his own divine sense C. This world-defying mad source bead had already been sealed by Feng Ke, and wouldn't go around randomly. Chen Xiang used the devouring magic Kung Fu to devour the world-defying stage fierce power inside the world-defying mad source bead, and then channeled this wave of world-defying stage fierce power into the 6 realms mirrors. It worked. Feng Ke shouted in surprise, "You still have a few world-defying mad source bead left, I believe you should be able to succeed." This time, Chen Xiang was even more confident. After saying that, Chen Xiang decided to start. He did not need to concoct any pills in the shop now, as he had plenty of time to do so. It will definitely take quite a bit of time. Feng Ke said, if we can really refine a pill spirit, then wouldn't that mean that in the future, there would be endless strong strength DANs? Yu Yiren had previously said that elixirs could also produce elixirs, so of course strong strength Dan spirits would give birth to strong strength DANs, but he did not know if that was true or not. Only success will know. Chen Xiang laughed. Let's begin. Chen Xiang took out all of the strong strength Dan medicine ingredients and threw them into the furnace. This way, the quality would be high from the start. It took him 3 days and 3 nights to finally refine the medicinal ingredients that he had saved before into a lump of medicinal crystal. This lump of medicinal crystal was very big and of an extremely high quality. I'm starting to use the derivation method. It might take a little more time. Chen Xiang said. Right now he did not use time domain, because the refining process would definitely consume a large amount of energy. If he used time domain again, he might not be able to last until the end. Although the quality of the derivation is very high, it does not take a long time. This is one of the advantages of derivation. The derived method was better than crash method, it was softer. However, when the crash method collided, it would pose a huge challenge. Chen Zhang's Tianchuang furnace would once explode from the impact. Chen Xiang used the huge lump of medicine crystal to give birth to 9.5 large pills, and handed them over to Feng Ke. What he needed to do was to release a strong world-defying god fire and make those crystals soften under the high temperature. It's not that hard. Feng Ke released the sealing power, and very quickly, the large and small medicine crystals all merged together. Although it had fused together, the crystal was still as big as before. It was just that the quality had become very, very high. But Chen Xiang would continue with the derivation process, and then continue the fusion process after. He did not know how many rounds he would have to go through. It would have to wait until the pill spirit was refined, or until both he and Feng Ke were unable to continue, before it would stop. The second round was completed in a flash. Both Chen Xiang and Feng Ke did not feel any pressure and could be considered to be relatively relaxed. Just the second round alone used 10 days of time. The third round could also be easily completed, but it would take at least 10 days. Just the third round alone took 20 days. Chen Xiang took a deep breath. I wonder how many rounds I'll need to succeed. We were already mentally prepared, so no matter how many rounds it takes, we will persevere. Feng Ke said. If Chen Xiang had a very strong power, he could use the crash method to cross them. Then, the quality of the medicine would be even higher, and the improvement would be much faster than the derivation. Especially in the later stages of the pill, the higher the quality of the crystal, the higher the impact, the higher the improvement, which was also better than the derivative method. It was just that Chen Xiang had high requirements for it. He was unable to suppress the power that would come out when the crystal collided, even if they combined with Feng Ke. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed, yet Chen Xiang had already gone through 20 rounds, which made it extremely difficult for her to fuse the medicinal crystals. Because the quality of the grown medicine crystal was already very high, Chen Xiang had to fuse them together with Feng Ke. I wonder when the heavenly pill assembly will begin. Forget it. Refining a pill spirit is more important. Chen Xiang had already been in closed-door training for a very long time and had not left his room. Fortunately, no one came to disturb him, so he continued his refinement with ease. It's only 20 rounds and it's already that difficult. I previously estimated that I would need 100 rounds to refine a pill spirit. Feng Ke said. How about this, you release the time domain, or else it will take too long. When the time comes, you will be disturbed, and things will become troublesome. Feng Ke was most worried about this, and he couldn't be disturbed like this. Once it stopped, all their previous efforts would have been for naught. Alright, even though Chen Xiang had only released the first stage of time domain, it was enough to buy him a lot of time. After releasing the time domain, it also increased the burden on Chen Zhang's energy consumption. Although it was only a little, for a pill spirit like the one Chen Xiang was refining now, the energy consumption would be huge if it accumulated for a long time. Yu Yiren looked at Chen Zhang's hut and said with a frown, this guy has already been in closed-door cultivation for 4 months, and yet he still hasn't come out. Should I go in and call him? The manager said. Don't, alchemist hates being disturbed when he is refining pills. Yu Yiren shook his head. How about this, I will participate in it myself, at that time you just have to tell him how to find me, I need to hurry up and register for our shop. Okay, I'll tell him when he comes out. After the shopkeeper had finished speaking, he asked, what if he goes into seclusion like this all the time? Then forget it, Yu Yiren said. He has been in closed-door training for so long, he must be doing something extremely important, and cannot be disturbed. It's going to start in 2 months. I hope he can make it. The shopkeeper looked at Chen Zhang's hut and muttered. Yu Yiren left the shop by himself. As for Chen Zhang's side, he had already used the time domain for 1 month. Inside the time domain, he had already spent 30 months. It's really not easy, I never would have thought that I would be able to persist until now. Chen Xiang was already extremely exhausted. He had just completed a round of fusion with Long Shui and his sisters were currently channeling the power of rebirth to them, allowing them to quickly recover. Chapter 3171. Chen Xiang had refined it for such a long time, he had no idea how long it would take for him to succeed, he even felt that it would be impossible for him to succeed. Alright, let's continue. Chen Xiang rested for a moment, then suddenly began again. Fortunately the Mei Jing sisters was able to provide him and Feng Ke with an endless flow of power for regeneration, otherwise it would have been impossible for them to progress to such a stage. Although they did not know if it would succeed, Chen Xiang and Feng Ke did not give up. After all, they had persisted till here, if they were to give up, all the hard work they had gone through would be for naught. You'll definitely succeed. Even if you can't refine a pill spirit, you'll still be able to obtain a high-quality strong strength Dan. After you eat it, you'll be able to step into the world-defying crazy realm. Feng Ke said. She said that to motivate Shen Shixiang, to prevent Chen Xiang from having a negative attitude. I will persevere. Little girl, you haven't given up yet, how can I give up? Chen Xiang laughed. Feng Ke had used a lot of strength, it was not easy for her to release the sealing power, but she did not feel impatient, on the contrary, she was still looking forward to the results. If Chen Xiang gave up, this would definitely affect Feng Ke. She put in so much effort. Following that, Chen Xiang and Feng Ke continued to work together to refine strong strength Dan. Chen Xiang was now even more proficient in using the derivation method. After all, he had gone through dozens of rounds of the same medicinal ingredients consecutively, and there were still many more rounds to go. Very quickly, the 2 months outside had passed, and Chen Xiang had been inside the time domain for almost 60 months. He had already forgotten about the heavenly pill assembly, even if he remembered, he did not have the time to go. But now, he had stopped, mainly because he was unable to continue producing the medicine crystal inside the pill furnace. What's going on? There's actually no way to proceed with the derivation. Chen Xiang said in surprise. He tried for a few hours, but nothing happened. It has already been 105 rounds. Could it be that it has already reached its peak? Feng Ke said somewhat excitedly. It could be, then let's try and see if we can condense the core. Chen Xiang was also very surprised, it could not be derived any further, maybe it was because his quality had reached the limit. Feng Ke and Chen Xiang immediately teamed up, compressing the snow-white crystal inside the Tianchuang furnace, intending to condense it into a pellet. The process of condensing the pellet was extremely difficult. Fortunately Feng Ke was able to control the 6 realms mirrors and allowed it to release a very strong sealing force, so Chen Xiang was able to use those world-defying mad source speed S2. The formation inside the 6 realms mirrors continued to devour the large amount of world-defying stage fierce power S to operate the sealing formation. The sealing power that was released kept on shrinking the large crystal and it kept on releasing bright light, as if it would explode at any time. As time passed, the large crystal became smaller and smaller, and all the world-defying mad soar speed that he had obtained previously were used up. It stopped. Chen Shang saw that the ball of light emitting from the crystal suddenly dimmed, and said anxiously. Yes, Feng Ke said, it's impossible to continue anymore, it's already stabilized. Feng Ke had already removed the seal's power, and the ball of crystal was extremely exquisite, unlike the previous time when it released another light. This circular crystal was very big, about the size of a fist. It was not the size of a pill, but it was much bigger than a normal pill. We failed. Chen Shang sighed helplessly, the pill spirit did not appear. Feng Ke ran out from Yuyao Mountain Villa and said, I'll open it and take a look. She opened the Tianchuang furnace's lid and retrieved the crystal core from inside. Her two small hands held onto it tightly, afraid that she would run away. At least you still have the high-quality strong-strength Dan's medicine. Feng Ke laughed helplessly. Could it be that I haven't reached the pinnacle of this method of refinement? Chen Shang caught it. Just as he was about to touch the crystal, it suddenly trembled. Seeing that, Feng Ke anxiously shouted, Move! I saw it. Chen Shang also felt that it was strange. At this time, the crystal ball was still shaking in his hands, releasing a kind of energy waves while shaking, creating a light breeze. When the gentle breeze blew over, Chen Shang and Feng Ke felt a strange sensation. It's the power of life. Feng Ke exclaimed. Could it be that he's already nearing success? Are you going to drip blood? After Chen Shang finished speaking, he took out the heavenly magic sword and cut his own finger, then dripped a drop of blood on it. After dripping blood, the blood easily seeped into the crystal. The originally transparent crystal had now turned blood red. The blood that Chen Shang dropped into was flowing as if it was circulating. Continue. Feng Ke shouted. Chen Shang pressed the part of his finger that was cut onto the crystal, and could only feel blood continuously gushing towards the crystal, quickly being absorbed by it. During the bleeding period, Chen Shang asked the Mei Jing sisters to help him recover. Otherwise, according to the speed at which the crystal was devouring his blood, he would have become a dry human by now. It stopped. Chen Shang looked at the blood-red crystal in his palm. This crystal was currently trembling slightly, making Chen Shang feel as if he was holding a heart. Do we have to wait? Feng Ke asked. Why don't we ask that boss? He should have a better understanding of this. Should I tell him that I am currently refining a pill spirit? Chen Shang asked. Not now. Feng Ke thought for a while, then said, You can leave now, you have been in closed-door cultivation for a long time. Chen Shang carefully placed the gem into a place inside the Yuyao Mountain Villa for Feng Ke to see. After walking out of the hut, Chen Shang saw the shopkeeper running over anxiously. You finally came out of seclusion, but I've been waiting for you for a long time. The shopkeeper hurriedly said, the boss has already gone to participate in the Heavenly Pill Assembly. It will only take 5 days. If you go now, you should be able to make it in time. Right now, even if Chen Shang did not want to, he had to go, because he wanted to find Yu Yiren and ask him about the matters before the birth of the pill spirit. He had toiled for so many days, but he did not know if it had succeeded or not. He did not wish for his hard work to go down the drain, as Chen Shang did not want the shopkeeper to know that the location of the Heavenly Pill Assembly would be in a manner. Let's go now. If we're fast, we should be able to make it before it starts. The manager said. Chen Shang nodded his head and then left the city, teleporting towards the villa's location. He wanted to find a place that he was familiar with, and if there was a need for a competition, he might have to make some preparations. These days, he had been intending to refine other arrogant pills, but he had made the decision on the spur of the moment to do so, so he didn't manage to refine any other arrogant pills. Chapter 3172. Pure Text Online. Read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read please visit. After Chen Shang arrived at this nameless villa, he could only wait outside. He could not enter directly, he needed to be notified by the guards. Previously, the shopkeeper had told him that if he were to come to the entrance of this villa, he would have to tell the gatekeeper that he was looking for Yu Yiren. Chen Shang had to wait for more than an hour before he saw Yu Yiren walking out quickly. You finally came. I thought you wouldn't come. Yu Yiren laughed. It's good that you can come. After that, Yu Yiren brought Chen Shang into the villa. The interior of the villa was very big. The entire villa was enveloped by a powerful array. If one wanted to barge in, it would not be easy. Chen Shang had already tried to enter from the outside, and even if he used the time and space power, it would be very difficult to enter. Boss, this villa is really amazing. The person who built this villa is very strong. Chen Shang said, especially the formations protecting the villa, each and every one of them is extremely terrifying. Chen Shang was still a little excited in his heart. The formations here were extremely useful to him, as to be able to restrict people like him who knew how to use the time and space power to enter. He planned to use the 6 realms mirrors to replicate the powerful formations in the evening when he had the chance to do so. Of course, the master of the villa is also an alchemist. Otherwise, he would not have held such a large assembly. Yu Yiren laughed as he brought Chen Shang to his residence. Yu Yiren was a big shot here, so he came to this villa as guests. His villa's living space was extremely luxurious, and it was a very big mansion. Why doesn't this villa have a name? Chen Shang stood at the entrance for a long time, but still did not see what the villa's name was. Yes, there is no name, but we all call it Heavenly Dan Mountain Villa in private. Yu Yiren said, every once in a while, Heavenly Dan Mountain Villa will invite the alchemist to gather here, and at the same time, invite a few juniors to compare notes on concocting pills. So that's how it is. Chen Shang looked out the window at the mountain in the distance and asked, what will the competition be like this time? I'm not ready yet. Quote. Not ready? What have you been doing in seclusion for the past few months? Yu Yiren felt that it was a little strange, and laughed. Could he be sleeping? Chen Shang shook his head. He had previously discussed with Feng Ke and was temporarily not going to tell him about him refining the pill spirit, but now, he suddenly wanted to tell Yu Yiren about it. Seeing that Chen Shang was not willing to answer, Yu Yiren did not force him and said, the competition is not very important, but if we win, there will be rich rewards. Maybe you will not be interested in the rewards, but during the competition, I can let you improve, so this is a good opportunity. How powerful is the owner of this villa? Is he stronger than you? To be able to invite an outstanding alchemist of the Heaven-Old Super Realm to participate in this kind of gathering, it showed that the master of the villa was definitely very strong. Yes, and he seems to know some things about alchemy. I haven't discussed this with him in detail for now, but he's very busy right now. I've been here for 2 months and I haven't had a chance to talk to him alone. Yu Yiren said, every time I see him, I'm with a large group of people. It's not convenient to discuss this sort of thing. Chen Shang nodded his head. Indeed, the less people know about the pill spirit, the better. Yu Yiren shook his head. That's what I thought before, but now I've heard quite a lot of things these days. There are actually quite a few old fellows who already know about the pill spirit. I wonder where they heard about it from. We must find out how they found out about the elixir. Chen Shang anxiously asked, did any of them go to Myriad Dao before? It should be, but even if we go to Myriad Dao, we should not have the chance to know about this. Yu Yiren was also very suspicious about this. I think there's only one possibility. Chen Shang didn't know how he could ask Yu Yiren about the details of the pill spirit either, unless he told him what had happened. At this time, Yu Yiren looked like a pretty good person from the Heaven-Old Divine race, treating him almost like an elder. She didn't give him any face, and was even very friendly, a person that could be trusted, but Chen Shang was still a little worried. What possibility? Chen Shang asked. I think the owner of this villa told them. Yu Yiren frowned slightly, and took a sip of tea, because he had also been to the Myriad Dao before, so he naturally knows about this matter. Furthermore, I heard that the master of the villa would reveal something at the beginning of the Heavenly Pill Assembly, and it is said that it is extremely shocking. Quote. Chen Zhang's brows twitched, and said anxiously, could it be that he wants to reveal the pill spirit he refined? Yu Yiren nodded and said, yes, this guy likes to show off. I think it's possible. Of course, I'm only guessing now. Yu Yiren's mood did not seem to be very good, because the owner of the villa had refined his pill spirit earlier than him. Although he was not completely sure about it at the moment, Yu Yiren was very unhappy as he thought of this matter. Boss, don't you have a direction now? Chen Shang laughed. As long as you have time, you will also succeed. That's right. Yu Yiren laughed. Chen Shang had previously told him that using the seal could succeed, and he had already sent people to help him refine the array disc. As long as he finished refining, he could start to experiment. Couldn't be sure before, but he had already refined it before, so he was very sure now that he could use the power of the seal to compress the medicine crystal. If Yu Yiren's formation plate was good enough, he would definitely succeed. Yu Yiren was a strong world-defying crazy realm ranker. He was strong enough to maintain the flow of the array disc, so he would definitely be able to hold on until the end. When the time comes, just follow behind me and try not to make too much noise. You should know the attitude that the people of heaven old divine race have towards human beings. Yu Yiren said. I understand. Chen Shang treated him really well, at least he was not rejected like the other heaven old divine race people. At this moment, someone knocked on the door. Yu Yiren stood up to open the door. Mr. Yu, the Manor Lord has some important matters to attend to. Please meet with the Manor Lord before sunset. The person who spoke was a middle-aged man, most likely someone sent by the Manor Lord. Alright, can you bring someone with you? Yu Yiren asked. Sure. The middle-aged man looked at the sky and said, it would be best if we could arrive before sunset. The Manor Lord does not like it that people are late. Don't worry, I will definitely arrive on time. After Yu Yiren finished speaking, the middle-aged man left in a hurry. Chapter 3173. Pure Text Online Read Local Domain Name Mobile Phone Synchronous Read Please visit. Chen Shang walked over and asked, what will be the important matter? Yu Yiren shook his head and smiled, then walked into the hall with Chen Shang. Didn't I just say that the owner of this villa is going to announce something big? Yu Yiren drank his tea. Didn't he say that he would announce it at the beginning of the Heavenly Pill Assembly? Chen Shang said, why do we have to announce it now? He probably won't be able to sit still. Yu Yiren laughed, ignore him, when we go over to take a look, we'll know who's here. At dusk, Yu Yiren brought Chen Shang to the Manor Lord's house. The place was even bigger there, and in front of the house was a huge plaza. When Chen Shang and Yu Yiren arrived, Yu Yiren immediately brought Chen Shang to the very front of the table. There were seats at the very front and there were seats for esteemed guests like Yu Yiren, but they only had 2 seats, so there were 2 people sitting at the same table. This is a human, someone at the next table said in surprise, his voice full of contempt, followed by looks of contempt from the others. Isn't that Elder Yu? What's so special about this human? An old man asked with a smile. There's nothing special about it. It's just that it's better to be able to refine strong strength Dan and defeat Zhen Mingui from the Zhen clan. Yu Yiren said. So Zhen Mingui was defeated by him. At least you have some ability, if not you will not take notice of him. Does this human use the blood of the heaven old divine race? How can it be so powerful? The voice of the old man was sinister, as though there was jealousy in it. Many people had heard that Zhen Mingui was defeated, so this gathering was meant for the young generation to spar, and Zhen Mingui was considered rather famous amongst the younger generation, but he lost to a single person by kneeling down and admitting his wrongs to a shop owner. This was truly a great humiliation. And in the eyes of many in heaven old divine race, losing to a human was even more humiliating than kneeling down and admitting his mistake, so Zhen Mingui hated Chen Shang to the bones. Yu Yiren suddenly glared at the people around him and released a wave of pressure that caused them to not dare to mock him. HMPH, what's so special about defeating Zhen Mingui? After defeating Zhen Mingui, you actually dared to come here to participate in this kind of convention. A man behind him sneered. Yu Yiren turned his head to look, and saw that the man was dressed in brilliant gold and looked very noble, followed by a large group of people. He only snorted, and did not say much. Who was this person? Chen Shang was extremely curious, so he sent a sound transmission to Yu Yiren to inquire. He could tell that Yu Yiren was wary of this person. The member of the Heaven Old Imperial family should be a prince. Yu Yiren said, I really hate Heaven Old Imperial family. They will die one day, you don't have to bother about them. Yu Yiren and Chen Shang both looked at the high platform in front of them, and no longer bothered with the various ridicule given to them by the distinguished guest seats. Chen Shang never thought that the people of heaven old divine race would actually reject humans like that, because in the VIP seats, only he was human, the others were all people of heaven old divine race. They thought that bringing a person in was a huge insult. Originally, they thought that with this kind of ridicule, Yu Yiren would let Chen Shang leave, but Yu Yiren remained indifferent. Even if Chen Shang wanted to leave, he would not let him leave. The Manor Lord is here. Someone suddenly shouted. Quick, let the Manor Lord take that person away. Such a weak human, isn't he afraid of being scared to death by our aura? Exactly. When he appeared, no one dared to speak loudly. He seemed to know about Chen Shang too, but he did not reject humans like the others, and for some reason, this made everyone from heaven old divine race confused. Everyone present was confused. Seems like he has really been to the Myriad Dao before. Yu Yiren sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang, and laughed, because above the Myriad Dao, there are some humans that are very powerful and can refine pill spirit, so he doesn't dare to look down on humans. So that's how it is. Chen Shang now also understood why Yu Yiren treated him in such a manner. It turned out that she knew that humans could be very strong as well. Everyone, I've brought you here so that you can see my achievements. The Manor Lord revealed a proud smile as she waved her hand. A handsome man dressed in blue walked up from below. Seeing this blue-clothed man, Yu Yiren's expression immediately changed greatly, and Chen Shang also felt a somewhat familiar aura from him. It was the aura of a pill, and one that only existed for extremely high-quality pills. Chen Shang had refined this pill not long ago, so he was extremely familiar with this aura, and his heart was currently beating rapidly because the blue-clothed man was a pill spirit. The Manor Lord had succeeded. He had successfully refined a pill spirit. Some of the old men could tell that only those who knew about the pill spirit were this shocked. This is my greatest achievement. The Manor Lord laughed out loud, laughing very proudly. What is this result? Some people were puzzled. They knew that this man in blue was different from the others, but they could not tell what he was. This is the Huakuan Dan. Yu Yiren suddenly said. His words made many people even more suspicious. Although these heaven-old divine race people were strong, they did not know much about the pill spirit. The Villa Master smiled at Yu Yiren. Brother Yu is indeed knowledgeable, why don't you explain this to everyone? Yu Yiren stood up and said in a clear voice, if the quality of any of these pellets are refined to the limit, a pellet spirit will be born. The strength of the pellet spirit is extremely scary, and it already possesses an extremely powerful world-defying stage fierce power. Following that, the Manor Lord explained more about the pill spirit, causing many to cry out in disbelief. Many people could not believe it, because this was an unbelievable matter in the first place. However, when they saw the expressions of Yu Yiren and a few other famous old alchemists in the field of alchemy, they knew that it was not fake. After refining a pill spirit, one would be able to possess an even greater power. If he could refine a little more, wouldn't it be terrifying? Chen Shang inadvertently looked at the Prince of Heaven old imperial family, his expression unexpectedly not looking good. Chen Shang estimated that the prince might have sensed that their royal family's position was being threatened. Elder Yu, you know about the matter of the pill spirit, but you didn't manage to refine it. What a pity, an old man chuckled. Yu Yiren is old, and is no match for the Manor Lord. Looking at your expression, you should be extremely jealous, right? It should be. This is the peak of alchemist, and he cannot reach it. The few old men who were taunting Yu Yiren were all alchemists, and looked like they were Yu Yiren's old rivals. Chapter 3174. Pure Text Online Read Local Domain Name Mobile Phone Synchronous Read Please visit. Yu Yiren was a little angry. He did not refute them, and only looked at the pill spirit quietly. The Huakuan Dan was a middle-ranked primordial pill. It could be considered rather expensive. Even the older alchemist knew how to refine it. The ingredients were the more expensive because it took a long time to grow. When the Manor Lord saw that everyone was looking at him with looks of admiration, he became very proud of himself. Let's call it a day. When I get the chance, I'll show everyone how amazing I am. I just concocted it not too long ago, so I'm still not familiar with it yet. When I'm familiar with it, I'll definitely share it with everyone. The Manor Lord laughed and said, in a few more days, the Heavenly Pill Assembly will begin. This will also motivate the younger generation, giving them an example. Yu Yiren was the first to leave. If he did not have to participate in the Heavenly Core Conference with Chen Shang, he would have immediately left this place. He thought that he would be the first one to refine a pill spirit in the Heaven-Old Super Realm, but who knew that there was someone who did so earlier than him? After going back, Yu Yiren gasped for breath. This is so infuriating. These people are actually using this matter to mock and ridicule me. It's not like they were the ones who created the elixir. These bastards, sooner or later, I will definitely teach them the consequences of offending me. Yu Yiren said angrily, this Villa Master is too much. He clearly wants to show off in front of us, to make me lose face. But the owner doesn't look like that kind of person. Chen Shang said. This guy is considered my junior. Now that his pill techniques have surpassed mine, he definitely has to show off a bit. Now, he is Heaven-Old Super Realm's #1. Yu Yiren scoffed, isn't this guy relying on his own good pill refining conditions? What condition? Chen Shang asked. The Manor Lord looked to be just like that. His background is very bizarre. Not long after he was born, he had a large number of inheritances related to refining pills. That's why he started refining pills when he was young. Yu Yiren said, when he was born, I was already very famous. What are his parents? Chen Shang asked. Most of the reason that the Manor Lord was able to refine a pill spirit was because of his parents' pill refining legacy. I don't know. It might be above myriad Dao. Yu Yiren shook his head. Anyway, this heavenly Dan mountain villa of his has existed for many years, and even the heaven old imperial family has to give him face, you can imagine. Chen Shang had also just seen the prince of heaven old imperial family. Since this master of the heavenly Dan mountain villa is able to refine a pill, he must be valued even more by the heaven old imperial family. This Huakuan Dan's pill spirit should be able to produce a large amount of Huakuan Dan. This is too scary, Chen Shang said. He also knew about Huakuan Dan. Yu Yiren knew how to refine this kind of pill. Chen Shang had seen this before from the small booklet. Yes, heaven old imperial family has always known that this villa master is very strong and treats him very well. He will definitely think of a way to cooperate with this villa master. Yu Yiren nodded his head. Huakuan Dan are few in number, there are not many alchemists that can be refined, and older alchemists like us disdain to refine it, which is why we are lacking this type of pill. The middle stage proud pellets were relatively fewer, the old alchemist disdained refining them, and the other alchemists did not have that level of pills either. Furthermore, the demand for this level of proud pellet was also very high, because it was very suitable for the middle stage of the world-defying crazy realm. To pass through the middle stage of the world-defying crazy realm quickly, one would need a middle stage arrogant core, so the middle stage arrogant core was extremely important. Seems like he can still refine a few more elixirs. When that happens, it would be unimaginable. Yu Yiren said, looks like I have to work harder now, I cannot be underestimated by this guy. Boss, you will definitely succeed. Chen Shang was currently considering whether he should tell Yu Yiren about him refining the pill. After considering it for a while, Chen Shang finally decided to tell Yu Yiren about this matter. It was because he didn't know what was wrong with his pill spirit, causing it to fail. Boss, do you know what I've been doing for the past few months? Chen Shang asked with a serious expression. What are you doing? Although Yu Yiren was curious, he did not inquire about it. At that time, Chen Shang had only told him that he had not concocted any other pills. I am refining a strong strength Dan A, the highest quality strong strength Dan, Chen Shang said. When Yu Yiren heard it, he was extremely shocked. You're going to start refining now? Chen Shang nodded. But, your current strength is limited. Yu Yiren was in disbelief. Then what's the result? Chen Shang shook his head and sighed, then took out the blood-red crystal. The crystal was originally white, but after absorbing his blood, it turned red. That's the end. The round crystal in Chen Zhang's palm was shaking like a beating heart. When Yu Yiren saw it, he almost popped out his old eyes. How could he not see what this crystal meant? This is the highest quality strong strength Dan. Yu Yiren could feel an aura that was unique to the highest quality, just like the pill spirit that Heavenly Dan Landlord had displayed previously. What am I doing now? Have I succeeded? Chen Shang was extremely helpless towards this. It can be considered as a success, but it's just that I haven't become a human. Yu Yiren took it and looked at it carefully, then shook his head. I don't know the reason right now, but can you stay here and watch it for a few days? I'll help you find the reason. Of course you can. Chen Shang also needed a pill spirit now. If a strong strength Dan spirit appeared, he would be able to obtain a large number of strong strength Dan without even refining. I will study it carefully now. Before the heavenly pill assembly begins, I will come and find you. Yu Yiren said as he hurriedly entered the secret room. When Chen Shang returned to his room, he asked, you trust him that much? I am very confident in my judgment. This boss is not from the heaven old divine race. Chen Shang laughed. I think he is the same as Chen Kai, maybe he was born from the combination of humans and the people of heaven old divine race, it's just that he hid it well, and was not discovered. This is just your guess. Feng Ka said, I hope that he can help you. When the time comes, we can quickly obtain a pill spirit. It will definitely succeed, it's just a matter of time. Chen Shang and him had worked hard for a long time, so they naturally hoped that it would succeed. These few days of waiting made them feel that it had been a long time, and tomorrow was the start of the heavenly pellet assembly. Chen Shang did not even put this matter in his heart, he was waiting for Yu Yiren to come out. It was only at night that Yu Yiren ran out of the secret room in a hurry, his face filled with joy. Chapter 3175. Boss, did you find anything? Yu Yiren took out the blood-red colored medicinal crystal and said, look at the center of the interior. This is a. Chen Shang moved closer to take a closer look, and said, isn't this a very small fetus? Yes, this is a baby. Yu Yiren said, these few days, I have been sending in a large amount of life force non-stop, and that's what I was able to nurture. So it turns out that it's about how to refine it. Chen Shang took the crystal and said, then what happens next? Should I continue channeling life force into it? Quote. It is still being delivered non-stop until the baby wakes up. Yu Yiren said. Boss, have you refined it to this stage before? How do you know that? Chen Shang was very curious about this, even though he only knew about the pill spirit from the myriad Tao, he did not know the specific refining process, right? I know a little about it. Yu Yiren said, after the baby inside the medicine crystal wakes up, it will immediately consume the medicine and quickly grow. After that, you don't need to care about it anymore. When he grows up, you just need to pass on some memories to him, and that's fine. He can just transfer the teachings to him, he can learn on his own. Quote. It's really amazing, Chen Shang said. You are the one who is miraculous. You can concoct a pill spirit right after entering the sect. How did you concoct it? Yu Yiren was extremely curious about Chen Zhang's alchemy skills. The derivation I used Chen Shang said. Derivative method. I also use the derivation method. Who did you learn your derivation method from? Yu Yiren was shocked. You actually know how to use the derivation method too. I learned it from Myriad Dao Dan God. Chen Shang said, as for who taught him, I don't know. In short, he has already lost, and I have never seen him before. Chen Shang told Yu Yiren about the inheritance left behind by the Myriad Dao Dan God. I've heard of this person as well. I didn't expect him to be using a derivation technique. He is indeed dead, what a pity. Yu Yiren sighed, I didn't learn my derivation method from him. From whom? Chen Shang asked again. His name is Wang Dao. Yu Yiren's words stunned him. Old Wang. Chen Shang did not expect this. Wang Dao, this half-ghost old man is a very mysterious guy, and unexpectedly, he is Yu Yiren's master. You know him too. Yu Yiren was just as surprised as Chen Shang at the moment. Yes, but not too well. Chen Shang nodded, and then told Yu Yiren about the matter regarding Wang Dao. Right now, he is indeed in a bit of a predicament in Myriad Dao. Yu Yiren nodded his head, but he doesn't need my help. He can be considered my master. Oh right, you still haven't told me how you refined it. I also use derivation. Yu Yiren laughed, let's not talk about those first. I used an array disk to release the sealing power. Chen Shang took out his 6 realms mirrors. Yu Yiren looked at it, then nodded, so that's how it is, but with your current cultivation level, you should not have enough world-defying stage fierce power to maintain the formation plate and release the sealing power. Quote. I used the world-defying mad source bead, I got a few before, and only after using them all did I succeed. Chen Shang sighed helplessly, my cultivation right now is too low, I can't sustain consumption. But he's also very powerful. Yu Yiren really admired Chen Shang, because he did not succeed, but this brat, Chen Shang, who did not even reach the world-defying crazy realm, did. If the heaven-old imperial family finds out about this, they would definitely make a move on you. They are different from me. If they were to know that a human like you can refine a powerful elixir spirit, they would definitely destroy you or enslave you. Yu Yiren warned repeatedly, take this medicinal crystal back and raise it yourself. It's already nearing success. Chen Shang nodded his head, we will be participating in the Heavenly Core Conference tomorrow. Are there any competitions? Yes, Yu Yiren said, I've already helped you register. Of course, if you don't want to go, you can also go. A few days ago, Yu Yiren had seen many people mocking and ridiculing Chen Shang. If Chen Shang did not go, he would not have heard these rumors. He also knew that Chen Shang wouldn't care about all this. With Chen Zhang's current ability to refine a pill spirit, an alchemist at this level would be enough to be proud and have an extremely powerful heart. Chen Shang took the crystal core and returned to his room, then he handed it over to the Mei Jing sisters. You can control the power of life and pour it into the crystal. Chen Shang reminded Mei Jing sisters, it was most suitable for them to nurture the crystal. The crystal was refined using his blood, so it would definitely be loyal to him in the end. Right now, Chen Shang was looking forward to the moment when his pill spirit grows up. This way, I can have a large number of strong strength Dan. We can all quickly become stronger. Feng Ka laughed, these heaven-old divine race people will all be scum in our eyes then. Tomorrow is the Heavenly Pill Assembly, go and join in the fun, winning or losing is not important to me. Chen Shang was only there to increase his experience, the alchemist here mainly refined mad arrogance pills. Right now, he understood strong strength Dan the best. At dawn, when Chen Shang walked out of his room, he saw Yu Yiren waiting for him in the hall. It doesn't matter if you don't go now, you're already strong enough. Yu Yiren said, even though your current cultivation is not high, your pill refining skills are considered outstanding amongst your peers. Since everyone is here, of course we have to join in on the fun. Actually, I want to let these arrogant heaven-old divine race people see, as humans are not inferior to them. Chen Shang laughed. Alright, then let's go. Yu Yiren's strength could still be considered strong, so he did not need to worry that someone else might attack Chen Shang. The starting point of the Heavenly Pill Assembly was at the huge plaza at the entrance of Heavenly Dan Landlord's mansion. A few days ago, this Heavenly Dan Landlord had announced that he had refined a pill spirit. When Chen Shang and Yu Yiren arrived, they realized that they had come too early and the sky had only just started to brighten. Brother Yu, you're really early. When Heavenly Dan Landlord arrived, he chuckled and waved to the blue-clothed man behind him. It was the pill spirit that he had refined. This is a Huakuan Dan refined from my elixir. Take a look, what's its quality? Heavenly Dan Landlord had a complacent smile on his face, causing Yu Yiren to feel extremely unhappy. Chapter 3176. How long does it take for him to condense a Huakuan Dan? Yu Yiren knew that the Heavenly Dan Landlord was showing off. Although he was a little unhappy, this allowed him to take the chance to understand more about alchemy, which was a pretty good thing. 2 pills in 2 hours. Heavenly Dan Landlord ate the Huakuan Dan and praised, this Huakuan Dan is really high quality, even better than the ones I made myself. Yu Yiren snorted in his heart, and continued to curse. Right, is this human brat going to participate in the Heavenly Pill Assembly and represent your shop for the competition? Heavenly Dan Landlord asked. Yes, said, right now, he really hoped that Chen Shang could perform well in the Heavenly Pill Assembly, and it would be best if he could get first place. This would at least make him feel better. Not bad, being able to defeat Zhen Minggui is indeed something, but if he wants to shine in this Heavenly Pill Assembly, it will be very difficult. Heavenly Dan Landlord shook his head and sighed, the rewards for this Heavenly Pill Assembly are very generous. How rich? Yu Yiren asked anxiously. I will announce it after a while, but I have to tell you, the people from Heaven Old Imperial family are here too, and other than them, there are also the young elites from the medicinal families. Yu Yiren chuckled, then patted the shoulder of the blue-clothed core spirit and laughed, my treasure will also participate. He can be considered a young man, so this is permitted. Yu Yiren cursed a few more times in his heart. Allowing a pill spirit to participate, this was simply not fair. The Heavenly Pill Assembly was organized by the Heavenly Dan Landlord, and the rewards were set by him. This way, as long as his pill spirit could win, his rewards would return to him. This was too shameless, no wonder he took out such a generous reward. You worked so hard to make a pill spirit, you really should have let him show off. Otherwise, others wouldn't know that you invested so much into it. Yu Yiren laughed, but your pill spirit is still a little weak, I think you should let him train properly in the future. Brother Yu, you don't have to worry when the others come, I will go and greet them, especially Heaven Old Imperial family. If we slow them down, they will not be happy. Heavenly Dan Landlord hastily walked over. Yu Yiren groaned in a low voice, then sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. The best would be to defeat that pill spirit, and let him know how powerful you are. This guy used to call me Elder Yu, but now he's calling me Brother Yu. Quote. To be defeated by a pill spirit, this is a very interesting thing. Chen Shang laughed, I'll try. Many talented young Heaven Old Divine races had already arrived. Although they had not stepped into the world-defying crazy realm, they had all grown up in great powers, and after undergoing careful nurturing, their strength was still much higher than ordinary alchemists. Alright, since everyone is here, let me announce the rewards for this competition. Only one, Heavenly Dan Landlord shouted, the reward is to obtain a pill spirit. When everyone heard it, they couldn't believe it, especially Yu Yiren. Isn't the pill spirit absolutely loyal to its master? How can you give it to someone else? A man asked. The pill spirit that I'm talking about isn't the one beside me. Then, he took out a transparent crystal. This crystal was as big as the one Chen Shang had refined. This is the half-finished product I've made. As long as you put your blood into it and infuse it with your life force, you will be able to form a baby. When the life force is sufficient, this baby will awaken and he will be able to consume the energy of the crystal and cultivate by himself. When he grows up, it will be your own spirit pill. Heavenly Dan Landlord said in high spirits, I refined this pill spirit too. The quality is guaranteed, you can rest assured. What pill is that? An old man asked. Huakuan Dan, at the moment, I only know how to refine the pill spirit of Huakuan Dan, that's all I have. Heavenly Dan Landlord intentionally laughed at himself. Everyone cursed silently. It was impressive for him to have this level of skill by pretending to be here. Clearly, he was mocking the other alchemists here, but they couldn't even reach this level. The elixir spirits of Huakuan Dan sounded extremely enticing. Chen Shang was already moved. He knew that it would not be easy to obtain them, because the reason the Heavenly Dan Landlord allowed his pill spirit to participate was obviously because he did not want to give out the rewards. The reason why he took out the incomplete pill as a reward was to show off. To let more people know that it wasn't a coincidence that he made the pill and that the pill was not important in his eyes, that was why he took it out as a reward. Yu Yiren had told Chen Shang before that this Heavenly Dan Landlord loved to show off, and it was not bad. Everyone, quiet. Yu Yiren saw that everyone was discussing enthusiastically and shouted loudly. After everyone quieted down, he said, this reward is extremely precious, so it's not that easy to obtain. It's because my pill spirit is also participating, and he knows how to refine pills. Everyone immediately started to curse in their hearts. This was indeed deceitful. No wonder the Heavenly Dan Landlord was so generous. He had actually also allowed his pill spirit to participate, and now everyone knew that his pill spirit was truly amazing. If he were to refine a Huakuan Dan, he would not even need to refine it. There were many outstanding young alchemists here, but no one dared to guarantee that they could defeat that pill spirit. If there are no more objections, then let's begin. Seeing everyone's expression, Heavenly Dan Landlord was very satisfied. He wanted this kind of effect. Everyone now knew that he had a pill spirit and that there were many of them. This would make him even more prestigious in the Heaven Old Super Realm. Before, Yu Yiren was still his elder generation, but now, he was brothers with Yu Yiren. Not long later, he might even start to look down on Yu Yiren. Chen Shang, are you confident? Yu Yiren asked. If we can obtain his incomplete pill spirit, I might be able to find out what method he used to refine it. It would be beneficial to us. Before this reward was announced, I did not have much confidence. However, after receiving this reward, I immediately became filled with confidence. Chen Shang replied to Yu Yiren with a smile. This was a very rare opportunity. He did not need to refine it himself to be able to obtain the Huakuan Dan's elixir. The biggest use of Huakuan Dan was to allow people to step into the world-defying crazy realm, and then steadily improve within it, consolidating their foundation. Chapter 3177. With the pill spirit as a reward, if he had obtained it, Chen Shang wouldn't have to work so hard to refine it. It had to be known that this was a middle-ranked berserk pill spirit. Even Yu Yiren had difficulty refining it. The current Chen Shang did not have the strength to refine a middle-stage arrogant pill spirit. Even if he had that power, it would be extremely difficult. Seeing how confident Chen Shang was, Yu Yiren was also looking forward to it. If Chen Shang could defeat the spirit of the Heavenly Dan Landlord, then it would become a legend. Here, most of the Heaven Old Divine race looked down upon humans, and in the pill refining domain, humans were looked down upon even more. So if Chen Shang could defeat other Heaven Old Divine race people and still have a pill spirit in pill refining, who knew what the proud Heaven Old Divine race people would think? At this time, the other Heaven Old Divine races were all discussing with the elders of the clan. Those elders had also temporarily transferred some knowledge to them. Big now, if the ABCXS haven't been set up yet, it would definitely be very beneficial to that fierce transformation Dan spirit. Everyone is ready. I will announce the rules now. The Heavenly Dan Landlord said loudly, the rules are simple. The battle this time is only one round and it determines the outcome. All you need to do is refine the Huakuan Dan within 2 hours, and the evaluation criteria will be who can refine the most pellets and who will obtain the final victory. It was actually refining a Huakuan Dan. The fierce transformation Dan spirit herself could condense Huakuan Dan. She did not need any medicinal ingredients, so no one could see how fair this competition was. Heavenly Dan Landlord was not nervous at all after hearing everyone's complaints. He laughed and said that if he were to condense himself, everyone would be able to see it. Quote, If the fierce transformation Dan spirit were to refine his own Huakuan Dan, he would be able to condense 2 pellets in 2 hours. It is very fast. Yu Yiren told Chen Shang that he understood, and in short, this heavenly Dan landlord coming up with such a rule would definitely benefit them greatly. Quote, under normal circumstances, how many pellets can a Huakuan Dan refine in 2 hours? Chen Shang asked. If it's an old guy like us, we can only make 3 pills in 2 hours. We need to guarantee the quality. If we can't guarantee the quality, 4 or 5 pills shouldn't be a problem. We can even make 6 or 7. Yu Yiren said, as for you youngsters, if you can refine 2 pellets in 2 hours, you would be considered a genius. If you can refine 3 pellets, you would be considered a genius amongst geniuses. I've never tried. Chen Shang laughed bitterly. I know, I was doing other things before. Of course, Yu Yiren knew that Chen Shang had been refining pills and was close to success. Compared to refining Huakuan Dan, Chen Zhang's achievements were huge. It doesn't matter. Even if it fails, it's fine. Just treat it as an opportunity to train yourself. Yu Yiren laughed. Now that Chen Shang could refine a pill spirit, this kind of pill technique was extremely powerful. Furthermore, Yu Yiren had the time to refine it now. He felt that he would definitely be able to succeed. I heard that the Prince of Heaven old imperial family was able to refine 3 Huakuan Dan in 2 hours. Maybe he can beat that pill spirit. Didn't the Heaven old imperial family send out the news last time? The 3 Huakuan Dans that this prince refined in 2 hours were all of pretty good quality. Quote, this competition does not have any requirements, so there is no pressure. Who knows, I might be able to refine 4 or 5 pills in 2 hours. This time, a genius disciple from a large clan is not an ordinary person. Refining Huakuan Dan shouldn't be too difficult for them. What's more, how can they refine even more? No, that's not right. The guy from Yu Clan's store is a human. Even though this guy can defeat Zhen Mingui, he's just a human after all. That's right, and it's so weak. Yu Yiren will be blamed by the Yu Clan this time. Chen Shang heard the people around talking about him and couldn't help but to shake his head and laugh. Boss, I didn't expect that the shop belonged to your Yu Clan. Only now did Chen Shang know that there was actually a family behind Yu Yiren. Yes, we have a lot of shops here. I'm the one in charge of managing that shop. However, your presence here does not represent our Yu Clan. It is merely representing my shop, that's all. Quote, Heavenly Dan landlord was making everyone prepare for the competition, and when the news of the pill spirit as a reward spread, the entire city was shocked. Originally, many people did not know about the matter of the pill spirit. However, a few days ago, when the Heavenly Dan landlord spread this matter, it was already known by many people and they were extremely envious of it. Therefore, it could be said that the Heavenly Dan landlord was rewarded with a pill spirit, which was very generous. Second brother, do you have the confidence to win? An old man suddenly walked over and looked at Chen Shang with disdain. Behind the old man were a few young people. These young people all had haughty looks, and looked at Chen Shang with seemingly arrogant eyes. They did not look down on him at all. Yes, when Yu Yiren saw this old man, his face revealed a look of disgust. HMPH, someone like him can actually win. The young man behind the old man sneered. That old man was a member of the Yu Clan's cousin. His name was Yu Yan, and he was also an alchemist, though his alchemy skills were not as good as Yu Yiren's. Right now, he was in charge of most of the pill shops in the Yu Clan, so Yu Yiren only stayed alone. However, many people still treated him as a part of the Yu Clan's shop. The victory has nothing to do with you guys, he is not here to represent the Yu family. Yu Yiren looked coldly at the young man, and thought, what do you know? Yu Yiren knew very well that Chen Shang could refine a pill spirit. Amongst the young alchemist, Chen Shang could now look down on all the heroes and even the older alchemists. Since all of you look down on him so much, why have you come here? Yu Yiren said in a displeased tone, his expression ice cold. We only came here to tell you not to let this guy represent the Yu Clan in the competition. We can't afford to lose face. After Yu Yan finished speaking, he snorted and left with his men. Chapter 3178. When Heavenly Dan landlord saw that everyone was looking forward to the competition, he was also very happy. With so many geniuses gathered here, if they lost to his pill spirit, then he would be able to ridicule them to his heart's content. The updates were quick. So many geniuses couldn't even match up to a single pill that he concocted. The competition was delayed for 2 hours due to a small problem. This way, everyone would have more time to prepare. Heavenly Dan landlord suddenly said, and then took the pill spirit and left in a hurry. No one knew what urgent matter he encountered. After the Heavenly Dan landlord left, everyone started to complain again. They were originally going to start, but then they actually started to delay. Regardless of him, I'll try refining it now. Chen Shang said, Boss, do you have the Huaku and Dan's medicine ingredients? Of course there is. Are you going to refine it now? Yu Yiren was a little shocked. It was not good to start learning now. If the energy consumption during refining was too high, it would affect his condition. Yes. Chen Shang nodded his head, because he had never refined a Huaku and Dan before, and there was still time for him to do it now, so he could take advantage of the time to familiarize himself with it. This competition was very important to Chen Shang. As long as he won it, he would be able to obtain his core spirit. He wasn't the only one who wanted it. Everyone here had thought of it as well. Yu Yiren gave Chen Shang 3 leaves and said, this is called the Wild God's leaf. It's a leaf from the Wild God tree. Usually, it only requires 3 leaves to refine 1 pot. If this was a competition, the medicinal herbs would probably be restricted. Therefore, you should first refine 3 pieces of Wild God leaves. Quote. The Wild God leaf was red in color and looked like a maple leaf, but it was even redder than a maple leaf. Furthermore, it was very thick. Something was flowing under the leaf's skin, like blood. There was a certain amount of weight in his hand, and it was somewhat heavy. All right. Chen Shang took the leaf and placed it among the Tianshuang furnace, then began to refine it. This fellow is starting to forge pills now. Don't you have confidence in yourself? One of them saw that Chen Shang had set up a pill furnace at the side of the plaza, and could not help but laugh. To be still concocting pills at this time, and even refining Huaku and Dan, is not wise at all. That's right. Refining a batch of pills takes a lot of mental energy. I bet this human is worried that he won't be able to perform well in a while, so he's familiar with it now. Alright, let's take a look at his standards now. The few Yu clan disciples behind Yu Yan heard the crowd discussing about Chen Shang. One of them suddenly said, he does not represent our Yu clan. Our Yu clan definitely won't recognize this guy. This is all Yu Yiren's own doing. So just say it, don't involve our Yu clan. The members of the Yu clan were extremely worried that Chen Shang would affect their reputation, so they decided to make a name for themselves. Chen Shang refined very smoothly from the start, and very quickly, he started to use the derivation method. The derivation method could give birth to more medicinal crystals. If the medicinal strength was stronger, then it could also produce more pills. It went smoothly. Chen Shang calculated the time, and suddenly frowned. It's still too slow, it only spawned once, and that took me a long time. I think I won't be able to condense a pill now. Xiao Ka, help me. Chen Shang calculated the time, and the 2 hours were quickly about to end. And right now, he had just produced 9 lumps of medicinal crystals. It's too late, Feng Ka said. If you were to compete, you must not give birth to 9 small crystals. Heavenly Dan landlord was already out. After he walked onto the stage, just as he was about to announce the start of the competition, a pung sound rang out, and everyone immediately saw a pill fragrance lingering at the side of the square. Chen Shang had exploded. When Yu Yiren saw this, he could not help but shake his head and laugh. Naturally, he did not doubt Chen Zhang's strength, but rather, knew what Chen Shang had in mind. This guy actually the furnace actually exploded, ha ha ha. I had thought that he would be more stable when training. I didn't expect him to actually fail. He was preparing to start the match, and something like this even happened. This has a huge impact on him. Humans are humans, that's all. Chen Shang was calm. He had deliberately exploded them. He knew that he was close to success anyway, but because he had produced too many medicinal crystals, he did not have enough time, so if he had more, it would not be a problem. It doesn't matter if you practice before the match. A failure means a failure. In any case, whether you fail or succeed, it won't affect your results in the next match. Seeing Chen Shang walking up the stage, Heavenly Dan landlord patted Chen Zhang's shoulders and laughed. However, he still failed just now. He wasn't in first place in the end, right? When everyone heard this, they also burst out in laughter. Had already gotten used to it. He came to the competition to improve himself, and to obtain the core spirit. As long as he could obtain the core spirit, it wouldn't matter if he was laughed at. Each of us only have 2 portions of ingredients and we can only produce 2 portions. Furthermore, we are the ones who will provide the best ingredients. Although it cannot be considered the best ingredients, it is sufficient to satisfy all of you. Heavenly Dan landlord waved his hand and had his men bring up pill furnaces one by one and place them in front of the alchemist. There were a total of 100 or so alchemists participating in the tournament, so to speak. However, they were all young alchemists within the heaven-old divine race, and all of them were geniuses. To be able to see so many geniuses compete here was an eye-opener. Chen Shang carefully checked the pill furnace. The quality was indeed good, he was very satisfied, but there were still some who complained. After all, they were young masters, the pill furnaces that they used in the past were all noble ones. The pill furnace with the ingredients is already in place. You can start now. After Heavenly Dan landlord finished speaking, he immediately turned the hourglass over and the competition began. From the start, everyone was shocked, only to see the body of a luxuriously dressed heaven-old prince emit a gold light, and even the pill furnace released this kind of light. This is the ancient divine flame, only the heaven-old imperial family can release it, it's really powerful. He concocted 2 sets of ingredients in one go. As expected of the genius of the heaven-old imperial family. He started with 2 pills. I wonder how many pills he will produce in the end. Just as everyone's eyes were focused on the heaven-old prince, the other fierce transformation Dan spirit also made a big movement. Her body started emitting a red light. That kind of light made people feel that it was extremely hot. It was a very strange type of flame, it looked very hot. Chapter 3179. It was just that in the beginning, the 2 most eye-catching characters had displayed extremely terrifying strength, especially the heaven-old prince, who was able to grasp such a powerful primordial divine flame at such a young age. Because everyone heard that only those who step into the world-defying crazy realm can cultivate the ancient divine flames. This kind of flame could only be produced by the heaven-old imperial family. As for how powerful it was, no one knew, all they knew was that this was the legendary flame. When everyone's attention was focused on the 2 geniuses, someone with sharp eyes shouted, "Look at that human, he seems to have put the 2 ingredients into the pill furnace as well." You must be joking, he had already made an explosive batch of medicinal ingredients when he was refining the pill. Wouldn't it be even better if he were to refine 2 of them now? If the furnace explodes, he will definitely hit someone else. Make him stop right now, this guy will do a lot of harm. Heavenly Dan landlord saw that everyone on stage was worried, and laughed. "Don't worry, I will guarantee that such a thing will not happen. You guys should trust my strength." Chen Shang seemed to be concocting pills silently the entire time, but he was secretly observing the fierce transformation Dan spirit, using the Tao Heart Eye to carefully observe. The flame that this guy used was extremely strange. It actually refined the wild god's leaf in an instant. The speed was extremely fast, and it practically happened in an instant. Chen Shang exclaimed in his heart. These pill furnaces did not have any special protection, so he could easily see what was going on inside. A few of the old alchemists below the stage were also able to observe the situation within the pill furnace through faint movements. They were all watching fierce transformation Dan spirit closely, as they wanted to see if this fierce transformation Dan spirit could really concoct pills. As a result, they were able to see what Chen Shang had discovered and were extremely shocked. That kind of flame could instantly refine a wild god's leaf. This was simply abnormal, but what shocked them the most was that the fierce transformation Dan spirit's flame could actually make the number of crystals larger. This guy's flames were originally made from the Huakuan Dan's medicinal strength. His flames carry a dense amount of Huakuan Dan's energy, which is why there are so many medicinal crystals. Yu Yiren frowned. No wonder Heavenly Dan landlord is so confident, so that's how it is. When he spoke of this matter, many people felt pressured. If they couldn't win, most of them would be scolded by their clan's elders because they couldn't obtain incomparably precious pills. However, there was clearly a suspicion that this Heavenly Dan landlord was cheating. His pill spirit was made from a Huakuan Dan, so the flames and energy released by him were unique to Huakuan Dan. He could also form Huakuan Dan. Although everyone was unhappy, there was nothing they could do. Since the competition was organized by the Heavenly Dan landlord and the rewards were provided by him, although it was a little unfair, but at least it gave them hope of obtaining a pill spirit. Chen Shang did not mind, he felt that it would be more interesting to have a competition with a pill spirit. Pay attention to that prince, this guy isn't an ordinary guy either. Feng Ke sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. He uses fire energy to condense a fire array inside the pill furnace and can make the fire energy even more ferocious. The speed at which he refines the wild god's leaf is extremely fast. Alright, let's do it too. The main reason for the failure of the previous batch was because we did not have enough time. If we succeeded, we would be able to produce many pills. Chen Shang said, and now, refining 2 medicinal ingredients at the same time will be even more difficult. With Feng Ke's help, Chen Shang still had some confidence. Feng Ke released a few array formations, and these arrays were able to absorb Chen Zhang's world-defying stage fierce power and release a very strong, arrogant fire. This kind of powerful, unparalleled flame that even Chen Shang himself was unable to release, could only be released through profound formations. And Feng Ke had mastered many of these formations, which he could release at any time. That prince of the Heaven Old Imperial family should be able to use something else to activate the fire array formation. Feng Ke said, otherwise, based on his own words, it would be impossible to achieve. Don't worry about him, we'll just refine it properly for me. Chen Shang closed his eyes and quietly burned the medicinal ingredients. Very quickly, an hour had passed, and Chen Shang had just finished incinerating the 6 leaves. Feng Ke told Chen Shang what he had observed. Fierce transformation dance spirit's refining speed was the fastest, followed by Heaven Old Princes. Feng Ke said, they are all at the core formation stage now, they are not that good. Yes, the fierce transformation dance spirit should have just been born, so he's not very familiar with using fire to refine pills. And this time, Heaven Old Prince must be chasing the ducks away. He probably did not try to refine 2 medicinal ingredients in one go before, so he used a formation array to help him, said. Heaven Old Imperial family was not very familiar with using fire arrays, because many of the old alchemists present could see that. An hour had passed, and the spectators were somewhat disappointed because Chen Shang did not explode the furnace as they had expected, instead, he was very steady. The situation inside his pill furnace was also being observed by many old alchemists, on one hand, to see if anyone was cheating. I've already passed the previous stage. Yu Yiren smiled and said, it's already pretty good that he could develop so steadily to this step, because only 10 people on the stage can do it. His level has already surpassed most of the young genius from the Heaven Old Divine race. Chen Zhang's words made many old alchemists unable to refute him. From the beginning till now, Chen Shang had been very calm and steady. Hearing Yu Yiren's words, everyone remembered that Chen Shang had defeated Zhen Mingui before, and he did not come, probably because he was worried that he would be mocked by others. With Feng Ke's help, the refined medicinal energy quickly gathered together and condensed into a medicinal crystal. He took this step very quickly, and it shook many old alchemists, even Yu Yiren was surprised. When Feng Ke was helping Chen Shang, he did not reveal any of his qi, so no one would notice, and it looked like Chen Shang was doing it. Therefore, those old alchemists all thought that Chen Shang had a unique pill refining skills that allowed him to quickly fuse them. What they saw next made them even more shocked, because there were suddenly 5 large medicinal crystals inside Chen Zhang's pill furnace. This was Yu Yiren's derived technique. Everyone knew that Yu Yiren's derivation method was extremely powerful, and Yu Yiren had never spread it around, but now that Chen Shang was able to use it, many of the old alchemists looked at Yu Yiren in shock. Yu Yiren, your derivation method is actually going to be passed on to this brat. The person who spoke was Yu Yan, his ice-cold voice filled with anger, because Yu Yiren would rather be passed on to a human than to a member of the Yu clan. Chapter 3180. Yu Yiren's derivation was very famous, which was also why Yu Yiren had such great authority in the field of alchemy in Heaven Old Super Realm. As for why he never said anything about it, so, over time, Yu Yiren and the Yu clan had become enemies. However, because Yu Yiren was a genius alchemist, the Yu clan didn't dare to be so hostile towards him on the surface, as Yu Yiren was, after all, a signboard for their Yu clan. Now, they saw that Yu Yiren's derivative was actually used by the human, Chen Shang. This made all the alchemists in the Yu clan extremely angry. His derivation technique was not taught to him by me. You should all be clear about how long we've known each other. Back then when he competed with Zhen Mingui from the Zhen clan, he used a derivation method, which was only at his level. Yu Yiren looked at the Heaven Old Divine race people around him and laughed coldly. I know that all of you yearn for the derivation method, but all of you don't forget, this derivation method was created by humans. You normally look down on humans, so you should also look down on this kind of alchemy technique. Yu Yiren had never taught the derivation method to the Yu clan's alchemist. It was precisely because the Yu clan's Heaven Old Divine race looked down on humans and despised them from the bottom of his heart, that Yu Yiren despised them in his heart. He would definitely not teach the derivation method to the heaven old divine race people who look down on humans. The people here all knew that Yu Yiren's pill refining skills were similar to that of an anthropologist, thus, Yu Yiren's attitude towards humans was different from theirs. Today, they had all received a huge blow. Such a high level of pill refining skills was actually created by humans, and the people of heaven old divine race did not have such a high level of pill refining skills. Although the derivation technique is powerful and extremely profound, I have always admired this technique. It's just that in my opinion, it's only because my alchemy skills are much stronger than yours. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to concoct such a pill before you. Heavenly Dan Landlord laughed out loud. We heaven old divine races people are still much stronger than humans, even if there are a few who are stronger than us, we are still considered part of the minority. Originally, they looked down on humans in their hearts. They had just received a blow, but after hearing the words of the heavenly Dan Landlord, they felt that it made sense. They had forgotten about the blow just now, so they continued to look down on humans. It's enough for there to be a few humans that are stronger than us, because just a few are enough to surpass all of our heaven old divine race. I'm not speaking for the humans, I just feel that we should be able to be on equal footing with them. Yu Yiren sneered, heaven old divine race people often bullied humans, this kind of thing could really happen. That will be in the future. The heavenly Dan Landlord smiled faintly, brother you are worrying about nothing. When the human race becomes stronger, we will be even more powerful. Yu Yiren did not say anything else, because it was clear that the heavenly Dan Landlord was saying this on purpose to get the people of the heaven old divine race to approve of his words. Heavenly Dan Landlord had been to Myriad Dao before, he was very clear on how strong the humans above were, but he did not say it out loud. At this moment, everyone was disapproving of Yu Yiren's method. They all felt that Yu Yiren did not care about it at all, as he could not refine a pill spirit either. After some discussion, a lot of time had passed. Up till now, many people had gone smoothly and there were no signs of an explosion. After all of them were the genius alchemists of the large clans. 2 hours were almost up, there was only a small amount of time left. Many alchemists had already opened their pill furnaces, revealing the Huakuan dans they had refined. Most of them only had 1 pellet, and only a few could refine 2. What surprised Yu Yiren the most was that there were also those that could refine 3 Huakuan dan, but the quality was very poor. I'm done. Heaven old prince wiped the sweat on his forehead and then opened the pill furnace. He took out 5 Huakuan dans, which were all of excellent quality. Mine is also done. Chen Shang smiled, but he did not open the pill furnace. Fierce Transformation Dan Spirit did not say anything and directly opened the pill furnace, taking out 7 Huakuan dans. This made Heaven Old Prince's face turn ugly, as he found it extremely difficult to believe that it far exceeded his own, although it was only 2 pellets apart. In his eyes, this was still a distance that was difficult to climb. My Fierce Transformation Dan Spirit wins. Heavenly Dan Landlord shouted in great happiness, to be able to refine 7 Huakuan dan in 2 hours, his level is already far beyond us old fellows, truly amazing. The people below started a heated discussion. A pill spirit was actually at such a high level, far surpassing the peak of alchemist. It was truly surprising. Chen Shang sat there very gloomily, because he had already been neglected. Heavenly Dan Landlord, there's still me. Chen Shang shouted. Right. I almost forgot about you. You only have 3 or 4 pills at most, right? Heavenly Dan Landlord chuckled as he walked over, and then quickly opened the lid of Chen Zhang's pill furnace. When he saw the small pile of Huakuan dan, he thought that he was seeing things. However, when he was sure that he could see clearly, the smile on his face froze. Yu Yiren also flew up at this time. He was worried that the Heavenly Dan Landlord would do something, and when he went forward to take a look, he was also stunned. 15 pills. Yu Yiren took a deep breath. Why are there so many? Yu Yiren understood the method rather well, but how Chen Shang was able to refine so many of them in one go was hard for him to understand. Furthermore, he had just seen the number of medicine crystal that Chen Shang had produced, so he reckoned that around 7 to 8 would be his limit when he tried to condense the medicine crystal, but it had doubled now. This was because after Chen Shang used the derivation method, the various old alchemists had all placed their attention on Yu Yiren. Furthermore, when Yu Yiren was talking to someone else, he did not notice Chen Shang at all. It was at that time that Chen Shang used the crash method to go against the heavens. Originally, he did not intend to go through with it, but if he won, he would obtain the pill spirit. In order to guarantee that he would obtain the final victory, he decided to go through with it at that time. What surprised him was that the spirit god that was born after the clash, the scattered medicine crystal, started to fuse together. The fusion speed was much faster than when Chen Xiang and Feng Ke were working together. After the fusion, Chen Xiang split the gigantic ball of medicine crystal into 15 parts, and then quickly started to form his own pellets. This made it very easy for Chen Xiang to complete this batch of pellets.